Over there, Ron Bennington.
Just throwing out my trash. Well, we just pulled the curtain back and let people know what goes on here. Sometimes we throw out our trash.
It's embarrassing, but yes, we don't have someone do that for us.
We got dish today, right?
We do have dish today, and I'm hoping for a very royal heavy dish, because since the last time, it's like he broke the news to us that Meghan and Harry were breaking off, and then since then, it's just been a roller coaster the past week.
Well, Meg's it, and I think it's all her fault. He doesn't want to do it. She's making him.
Your hashtag never Meg.
No, I'm always going to be Team Diana. That's my thing. She was the people's princess.
Oh, yeah.
And first person to land the people's elbow, and that's forgotten about.
Now, did she start the people's eyebrow?
Yeah, she did.
Good.
She's great.
Mm-hmm. She is really good.
I believe she had an affair with John Travolta. That's something we said back because they were dancing.
Really?
Yeah. People love to talk about the royals.
They do. They really, really do.
Also, I believe Hari Kondabol was stopping by today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, he is, yes.
Funny man. And what's he up to in New York?
He's going to be performing at Caroline's Comedy Club
Caroline.
next Thursday through Saturday, January 23rd to the 25th.
Next Thursday. He's here a week early to impress.
Yes, he is.
That's scary.
That's punctual.
It is.
Good job, Harry.
Might go to that show. I'm probably like, Hari! I just like to yell that out from the back. I like to yell. Sometimes when I'm doing a set, somebody will yell out Ronnie B. And I'm like, yep, it's my name and initial. Caroline. We got some big Chris Stanley news, but before we get to that, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is upon us. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
This is Hard Rock Johnny's favorite time of the year.
He does love it.
Because he'll find out that some of his pants have gone up in value. And it's not that exciting of a class. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I feel like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has let themselves become less than a big deal.
Yeah. The inductees are in now. They've finalized, and yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of deceased inductees.
Yeah, which, it's nice, I guess, for their families, but we're not going to get them in the big Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert.
It's nice to see the performers.
This, I think, will be the big group that shows up. It's really just a single person. Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails is in. Notorious B.I.G. I remember you guys doubted it, and I said, first, no fucking doubt.
Yeah, you did say that.
Whitney Houston. Depeche Mode, that surprised me.
Yes.
I didn't think they were ready for it. The Dubé brothers, and quite a few of them are dead.
Mm-hmm.
But this gives a chance for Mumford & Sons to come out and do a song. And T-Rex, I think there's only one member still alive from that group, and not the one we want it to be. So it's not going to be that big of a thing. This is who was passed over. Pat Benatar, which...
I was surprised to see that was what was trending, too. People were like, Pat Benatar should have... And I was like, wow, I didn't...
This is bullshit.
I didn't realize.
Look, I got to tell you, Pat Benatar was the only headlining woman during the arena rock age. And it was a long shot that she made it. And she had a lot of fans, both male and female. And... there's got to be something said if you're trying to be diverse. There you are, the big art form of that time, and she's the only one that can pull. Dave Matthews, that's just a matter of when. Judas Priest, that always Kraftwerk, MC5, Motorhead, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan. Still no Todd Rundgren. Here's a surprise for me: no Soundgarden.
Yeah, I thought.
And Thin Lizzy, which is another popular band.
Yeah.
Again, maybe what is it? They allow 6? Still seems like too much to me. I put in 3 and then, put in a record producer or something every once in a while. But Earl, the excitement seems to be gone from the whole rock and roll.
Very deflating. All of my friends who are musicians, they're just kind of throwing their hands up and they're just like, big deal. No, they don't really care. They're like,
they used to, though, right?
The arguments used to go on forever.
What changed that?
I think once it started going on television, You know, because then they just resign themselves to the fact that, hey, the inductees are not going to be based on merit. It's going to make what makes good television. And, you know, what bands will reunite, which bands are, you know, TV presentable. And I think that was the one big factor in, like, everyone kind of losing interest in it. That's why a Whitney Houston's in, a Janet's in, and all that, because they will bring in a sizable crowd.
Whitney Houston is dead. She's not coming.
Yeah, but people are still very passionate about Whitney Houston. I think now more than ever with all these new revelations coming out about her. And
you think people will be watching the show for that reason?
I think once, like, well, now the question is who inducts her, who's going to sing the songs, who's going to, you know, there's this other drama that plays out on television.
Is there anyone today? Is there a rock and roll band that could go out and kill some T-Rex songs? I don't think so. I mean, it is the time of pop.
I think either the Killers or the Struts would kill it.
The Struts?
There's this band called the Struts. They're basically trying to bring back glam rock.
I don't
really
think I know
good
that.
band.
Yeah.
I like the name though. Now within the tour, what's going on? What happened on our list?
There we go.
Oh God. Within Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls. Do people want to see one rapper cover another rapper? It's not the same thing,
No.
right?
It never is.
No,
It
you
happens
don't really
occasionally.
Yeah, but it's not really done that way.
No, it's not done well.
So that leaves us with just hologram. Is that the only thing we can
I think,
do?
but
Hologram?
I think what you're going to see is, and I just saying this is like you're going to see Puffy, and Puffy's going to bring out, you know, the Bad Boy All Stars, and they'll do the big Big tribute.
What's your problem with P Diddy?
Yeah. Why don't you like Diddy?
It just goes back along. I just
You guys have a
happened?
beef
Wow.
from way
He
back.
steal a woman from you? You
No,
got to be able to describe yourself in this business,
Well-
Earl. I mean, you cast him some.
I always thought
aspersions.
that when it came to the Notorious B.I.G., he was always just kind of butting into the tracks. He was always just invading the tracks when he didn't have to.
Did you feel like he capitalized on his death?
100%.
You think he was responsible for his death? Do you think he sold him out?
No, I don't. But because Biggie had a lot of enemies.
Do you think he killed Tupac?
I always thought there was association with Tupac.
Wow. So Puffy ordered the hit?
I think
your
I always believed that
final
he had a big beef with Tupac.
Again.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Were you more East Coast or West Coast?
I was more Biggie than Tupac. I thought he made better records.
Surprising. So let's just say you're East Coast.
East Coast.
I have no problem with that.
I'm always East Coast.
You ever see Mr. Show's East Coast, West Coast puppeteer thing? It was fucking. I think it was puppeteers. Very, very funny. Well, yeah, I will agree with you. I don't think people care. You know what I mean? I think your musician friends that you never bring in here are correct.
I think they're right. They threw their hands up, and I think they're right to do so. And I think with the Whitney thing, I don't think it's going to have people tune in. I think that the day after, it might be like, oh, everybody's talking about whatever pop star covered Whitney, and
Yeah, it'll be-
didn't she do a great job?
And it'll be cut up and
Yep.
passed around.
I don't think it's going to bring eyes to the show.
The HBO show.
Mm-hmm.
It's already edited. They don't run it live, right? It's
No, they
runs
don't run it live.
We run it live on Sirius XM.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame channel.
But we already do. I don't know why you act like that.
But I
doesn't
mean, but yeah, they record it, and you know everything's out of sequence, so they do that just so
Who's
they
they? The Rock and Roll Hall
HBO.
of Fame? Okay.
HBO, they chop it up.
Now, is it Billie Eilish?
Eilish.
Billie Eilish. She got the James Bond song, which is that used to be the very big deal. I don't know whether it still is.
I don't know. I think, when Adele did it, that was like a hit for her, and it was a big deal. I think like
You get a lot of promotion out
yes,
of it.
I think if it works, it can be a big deal.
You think she's up for it? She's going to be the youngest Bond thing.
Yeah.
That's her thing. She's the youngest,
Yeah.
no
She's a
matter what
baby.
she does.
She is a baby. She's a little baby.
Yeah, she just turned 18.
But they give her everything.
And they love it.
We had that
Weird.
countdown clock going
Yeah.
in your office for when
It's really
Don't
weird.
say that.
Billie Eilish. Well, no, she is 18. You're fucking
Yeah,
fine,
now
bro.
you're fine. You're happy about it, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Sick
happy
fuck.
forever. Yeah,
For everyone.
everyone.
You know what I hope she does? I hope Billie Eilish. Is that it?
Mm-hmm. You got it.
I hope she re-records Goldfinger. Fuck my hair.
You know what my favorite Bond song is? And I've never seen a Bond movie, but I do like the songs. is You Only Live Twice.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's take a listen. Who did this one? Do you remember?
This is Nancy Sinatra.
Big Nance. You're a big Nancy
I
Sinatra
love
fan.
Nancy Sinatra.
You know, her dad also recorded music.
What?
Yeah.
Like us.
Back then, they were so fancy they didn't mention ass eating. Earl Douglas, favorite Bond song?
For me, it is Live and Let Die, Paul
You-
McCartney.
You know, I will tell you, I always was embarrassed about the song Live and Let Die until I saw McCartney live, and it fucking for some reason it was the best song of the night.
Really?
Yeah, and then Goldfinger, I believe this was Shirley Bassey who actually did more than one Bond
Right.
theme.
Skyfall.
Skyfall. He's a guy falling off the clouds. He'll fuck you up. It's a guy bar. All right, let's listen to Skyfall. Die was better than the actual movie. I think it's true of all these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume so, and that's kind of why I've never gone into it.
To
Although
one of
it-
their movies?
I've never done it, but here's the weird thing. I like nice costumes, pretty ladies.
Right.
I like sex scenes. I hear there's lots of those.
Lots of sex. James
I like
Bond's
sex.
Well,
constantly getting laid.
it's not even softcore though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's barely. I don't
There's a
think
lot of after.
Yeah. But doesn't
you
he
know,
like smack them around and stuff? I don't
Connery
know.
Oh, that was the early days. The early days, just like Connery did with his own wives.
Interesting.
He had to put a boot to
Maybe
him.
I should check it out.
All right, I'm going to give you the one that may be the most controversial. 70s, where a lot of people thought that the James Bond character got a little too light and silly. And then Carole King did this big hit. Nobody does it better. But a lot of the people who like the traditional things thought she stepped away too far from
Right.
this. Yes.
There's like a certain
It
style.
was Carly Simon, not Carole King.
Thank you very much, Earl. I appreciate you saying something that Gail is afraid to
I
say to
was
me.
so afraid,
Yeah.
and I was sick to my stomach sitting here.
The poor man's Carole King, Carly Simon did this, and it was a big hit. Threw off
Right.
some people.
It's not the traditional route. We need to be screamed at.
Earl, what's the Louis Armstrong one?
I think it's called We Have All the Time in the World.
Now, what year is this from?
This is 69. This was the one that George Lazenby did.
So this was already the one that most people think is the worst one. Fucking belt over their shoulder. People are now starting to carry around championship belts no matter what their line of work is.
You know, I feel like all the best ones had a little brass in there. It seems helpful.
Now, perhaps you'll like this one from the 80s, a little band called Duran Duran. They popped out, and there were some people that were mad about this. They thought they were too light, but I feel like A View to a Kill is something Duran Duran did their best. They brought their A game, and they had a hit. And it's very 80s. You are not one of the attractive ones. You have to do something for yourself. You know, the Turtles were a band. Some people thought them as America's answer to the Hollies. And they had like top 40 hits. Happy Together is a song that never goes away. And so and they were very young. And the teen magazines ran out to, get pictures and then literally said to them, sorry, guys. There's no way we can put you on the cover. You're not an attractive group. I'm going to give you another 80s one. And she was kind of an it girl for the 80s for a little bit when she took over Bond, and Sheena Easton.
Oh, yeah. Sheena Easton.
Earl, what did you think of this one in the terms of the Bond gets together? It was For Your Eyes Only.
I thought it worked perfectly with the movie. It was, she had that great look and that great feel to it, and it fit with the decade as well as with the franchise.
All right. You're playing it middle of the road. Not like when you accuse P. Diddy of murder.
Hey, Keith.
Hey,
Bennington.
what's up, Gil Bennington? Hey, I just listening in here. 1965, first James Bond movie I ever saw in a theater, Thunderball, was like underwater, action. Tom Jones, age 24, sang the theme song to it.
Oh, you're like getting a call from a record sleeve.
Yeah, he knows.
You know what I mean? Liner notes on the phone. All right.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah, she is. Now, I don't want to come across as a Madonna hater like Earl is.
Yeah, he is. He
with-
says she ruined music.
He said that she was the one who carried out P. Diddy's murderous plans.
Oh my God, she's the shooter.
The other night, I forget what I was doing. I was in some kind of a soul thing. I come along, Madonna singing. This is on YouTube. Build Me Up, Buttercup. So I say to myself, "Oh, this should be great for a hoot." You know what I mean? And I'm not kidding you. I thought it was fucking so fucking cute. You can't find it, Chris?
I'm looking elsewhere.
No, I don't. Why would it be elsewhere when I found it on YouTube and that's where you are?
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not seeing it right away on YouTube, so I'm going to search Google instead. Maybe they'll come up that way.
Oh, okay. Oh, suddenly we're in some kind of a fucking spy movie of our own where that's now why would I have found that? That's so weird to me.
Did you dream it?
Earl, are you able to find it?
No, I haven't been able to find it yet.
Yeah, everything that's coming up is, the first Madonna song that comes up when I search that is Madonna Material Girl.
Oh,
is it
that's
live?
what you.
Yeah, I saw Material Girl and I thought it was fantastic. I don't know, it was some concert thing that she did. I'm very mad that we can't find it. I actually sent it around to people and they're like, "Ron, you always find the best stuff."
Oh, cool.
And I just wrote back, "Boy, howdy." Chris, I'm looking around. I don't see those cheese puffs the way I was hoping today we'd start
yeah,
the
I thought
day.
you were gonna finish
Cheese
your
puff, too.
legacy.
I got a post right here.
Now, you don't have to do the puffs. I was just joking with you.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you did it yesterday. People told you how excited they were about it.
My fingers are still orange, Ron. I'm not going to
You
lie.
should,
It's
you should bathe.
What?
That's probably
stupid.
what you should have done.
Now, you have been accepted into a very big thing, and I don't know whether you know this about our Chris Stanley, but he's a man of many hobbies. And this hobby is called what, Chris?
Settlers of Catan, Ron. Settlers of Catan, the board game.
Now, you are going this weekend?
No, Valentine's Day weekend.
Okay, Valentine's Day
Romantic.
weekend.
Yeah.
And you're all trying to qualify to be in the finals, the national finals?
This is a qualifier for the Catan United States Championship, which is at Origins Game Fair in Canton, Ohio.
No, I've never heard of this game. This is a board game?
It's a board game, yeah. It's like a newer board game. It lasts like 20 years or so.
How long does it normally take to play this board game?
Like a fast game will be like 45 minutes, but games can drag out to like 2-3 hours.
And how good do you think you are at
I
this?
think I'm good enough to win this qualifier. Like, I really feel like so this qualifier gets me a slot in the United States Championships at a fucking
Right.
comic book convention.
I will tell you this. If that happens,
Yes, Ron.
I'm going to see if SiriusXM can get behind this. Perhaps even to send us to do a live broadcast from Canton, Ohio.
There's nothing I want more.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to get in your head,
Sure.
but I want to have it the way ESPN was hanging around New Orleans for the championship there.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe even there's some comic book people we can get in.
Oh, sure. It means Origins Game Fair. Who knows the stars that are there?
Literally nobody knows.
So if I win this, I get a $300 stipend
You
for
keep saying stipend.
for room and board
Yeah.
to Canton, Ohio.
And
Now,
that's your money. Nobody can touch that.
No, that's his stipend. That's his stipend. All right, 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. If anyone else, a single human being, I would be surprised, is familiar with the game. The what of Canton?
Settlers of Catan, or we just call it Catan, or Settlers.
Oh, it's
Okay.
confusing because Caton and Catan.
Yes,
like,
but it's Catan.
Spelled
Settlers.
nothing like Chris Catan.
No,
Spelled
nothing.
nothing like Rattan.
No.
Now, the Settlers of Catan, give me the elevator pitch. What is the game?
It's a strategy game where you have to build the resources. You have to build cities and settlements with resources you gather through dice rolls until you get 10 points.
Now, none of that makes sense to me, and it also sounds like it's no fun whatsoever.
I trust me, I know. When it was described to me, I thought this game is fucking dumb, and I have no interest in it whatsoever. But there's a ridiculous amount of strategy involved in it, and the interesting part is the board itself changes every single game, and there's millions of ways to actually to put the board out.
Yeah, I mean, I think even one would be weird to say what you're saying. Now, how were you introduced to this game? Who was behind it?
A friend of my girlfriend's was like, "Do you ever play Catan?" I'm like, "No," and they were all
Wait a
about
minute.
it.
Gail, I won't have any nerd bashing take on here.
Yeah.
And I heard you laugh.
Yeah, she's fucking bad. She's not
That's
nice.
okay.
She's not nice.
What do you
Because-
mean you've never played Catan?
See, the thing about Chris, and this is true, he's oddly freakish.
Yeah.
He's oddly cool,
Yeah.
but there is a nerd streak, and he will tell real nerd stories. Like his fantasy thing is very, very strong in him.
Yeah, love.
And that's what you like about this is like a fantasy.
It's a little fantasy, but like when I first started, I was like, all right, so I'm on this this random island, this fake island, this fantasy island, Catan, and I'm like, it's like kind of medieval. There's knights, there's knight cards.
Yes.
But I got over that once I like started realizing the game. I was like, oh, this is a really fun game to play.
Well, it's amazing to me you're even playing a board game because that's rare these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let alone someone your age
I know.
taking it serious enough to go to the New York finals. Where is that at?
This is at Brooklyn Game Labs in Tribeca. It's the Winter 2020 New York City Catan National Qualifier, Ron.
Let me get a look at the room. I want you to try to figure out what kind of place.
I've
that
seen
you're
these
walking
game labs
into.
in Brooklyn, though. I didn't realize they also have one in Tribeca.
They're everywhere, Gal.
Tribeca's really coming around, Gail. You're going to be
Okay.
surprised.
I didn't know.
Look, there's the children
All
that
right,
hang out
that's
there.
all.
Yeah, these are all pictures of children.
Every picture I see is children.
Yeah.
Maybe
but I've
Juju would
seen-
like to play this with you, Chris.
I think
I would
so.
love to teach Juju Sellers at Catan.
Yeah, I've seen kids
There's
hanging
not
outside
a
of the game
single
lab,
adult in any of these.
and they seem like a real nerdy bunch.
The only adults seem like big brothers,
And
Yeah.
pedophiles.
Yeah,
No.
like nerdy pedophiles.
So this is where it's a little bit too well lit for my taste, but that's fine.
Because you like a bar
The
atmosphere.
smoke-filled rooms of
Yeah.
Catan. Now, so your girlfriend's friend
Yes.
turned you on to it. How many of you were playing the first
It's
time?
you can play from it's 3 to 4 people for the basic set, but a full game of Catan's a 4-person game.
Okay.
So there are four of us.
So you actually have 3 people you know
Yes.
and that you play Catan with.
Yes, yeah, and there's more. They have other friends who play Catan, and they come and play sometimes because there's an expansion, Ron, that you can play 5 to 6 players.
Now, by the way, Chris hasn't called anyone his friend yet. It's his girlfriend's friend
Yes.
and their friends.
Yes.
Right.
No one there that you consider a friend.
Do
No.
any of these people like
Enemies. They're like, why does he have to yell during Catan?
I do, and they get really annoyed.
All right, Brian in Oregon plays your game, and I'm very surprised.
Love
you?
it.
Brian.
Hey, we have about 10 to 15 people that play the adult version called Nights and Cities. The one Chris plays is kind of the kids version.
Oh, give me a fucking break. Nights and City sucks.
Why? Because older people play?
No, plenty of adults play basic Catan. Then why are all these adults going to be at the Brooklyn
Why don't you
Tribeca?
How do
play-
you know they're going to be adults, Chris?
I hope they're not. It'll be easier competition. I don't mind a
Now,
squash.
how did
match.
you find out that you could go pro with this? Because apparently you haven't played outside your little circle,
No,
nerd
well,
circle.
this is the thing. These other people have come in and they've acted like hot shit that they're good at Catan, and they have a real nerd vibe, and they were fucking shocked at how I beat the fuck out of them in the game. And they were realized, oh man, you're fucking playing for real. I'm like, yeah, man, I am. And so that's what gave me the and I fucking roll, Ron. I fucking dominate.
You really are the best in your group?
Yes, without a doubt. And people get annoyed with me because I win too much.
Now, have you checked out any of the online stuff to see what else is out there in the country?
I've checked out past winners of this tournament.
Yeah.
It's a lot of seems Jewish white men, and Asian guys won a few times.
So they don't intimidate you.
They don't intimidate me at all. I'm going to intimidate them.
You know, like when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, I'm really good at chess because I was beating my neighborhood. But then you find out some people absolutely are into chess on a level that I would be
Yeah.
too bored to even get into.
I understand that. I get that. But
And you feel like that's you. You feel like you're other level.
I feel like I'm ready to go to the
Now,
national
are you
level.
gonna like when you compete? Are you gonna wear like dark
I'm gonna have
sunglasses?
sunglasses and headphones.
And what is the thing about you that you think makes you the best Catan player?
I think my strategy is sound. I think I have a killer instinct, and I think that I can fucking get in other people's heads.
And I bet you're ballsy too. You know, you
Yeah,
don't play it safe.
I don't
you?
play it safe at all. I fucking go for it. I go for it every fucking time.
Now,
You gotta
have
be
you looked up other people's strategies? Like, are you aware?
I've looked
that
up
people
yes.
go a certain way.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've looked up other people's strategies for Settlers of Catan. Look, my strategy is fucking sound, and I cannot wait to go down to fucking Tribeca and fucking rock that shit.
How many people are they taking to Canton?
That only one person from this 2-day tournament. I'm playing the second day, Sunday.
And then you'll have to play the winner of the first day?
All right, so this is what happens. Everyone plays. The top 16 people then play 4 separate games. Each winner of those 4 separate games then plays one last game. The winner of that game goes to Canton.
Catan. You get to go to Catan? A dream.
I'm very excited for this. I'm glad I shared it with you guys.
Can
Yeah.
I tell you something?
Yes.
I promise you now, after hearing all this, I'll go in and pitch the bosses that we take the show to Canton, Ohio.
Look, I'm going to come back. It's President's Day weekend, so I'm going to come back Tuesday with that Catan fucking that $300 stipend.
Wouldn't it be great if you weren't allowed to go?
I'd be so disappointed and sad.
Absolutely not.
I got to get to the convention, Ron.
Your place is here, Chris.
And is Chris Catan going to be there to celebrate?
It would make sense if Chris Catan was there. He should at least be at the United States World. And then there's a world championship from the winner who wins the United States.
Dude, if you find yourself representing our country in the Olympics,
I think a German guy won. This is a German game. I think a German guy won last year.
of course, that's their.
Yeah.
It's in their world domination is in their blood.
Yeah.
Master race.
Earl, what's the nerdiest thing that you do?
Probably. Well, I used to a lot. Backgammon was a lot when I used to play
It's also
backgammon.
game related?
Yeah, like that was probably. Everyone thought I was a nerd for playing it, but I loved it.
Gail, do you have a nerd gene at all?
Yes. I think that it is. Okay, first of all, raised Wiccan immediately. That puts you in a nerd category. There's a lot of nerdy
I thought it was cool.
pagan people out there. No, there's a lot of nerdy pagan people. And then because of that, like there's also things like I like Harry Potter and have read the books. That's not very cool, and I don't share it very often because it's just like, I don't want people to know I like Hogwarts.
A couple of times ago, I was at the stand, and there was this kid, 22 years old, with his mom. They had taken a trip to New York. I'm busting balls a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm like, what have you guys done so far? And he goes, well, we went to the Harry Potter show. And I'm like, you realize there's 2 fucking hot Israeli chicks sitting right next to you that you have no chance at now
Nah.
because you're with your mom and you went to Harry Potter?
Honestly, there's a Harry Potter play on Broadway, and I want so badly to go to it, but I don't know when. First of all, it's a 2-day play. You have to go back. It's so long that they split it between 2 days. So you
That's
gotta have
fucked.
2 consecutive nights that you'll go, or maybe you can do a matinee and then come back that night or something, which is really weird. But first of all, I can't imagine asking anyone to go with me. I can't think of one person who would go for 2 days to go see the Harry Potter.
I bet
play
Vito
with
would.
me.
I'm trying to think if I do one nerdy thing. Smoke?
No, that's
No,
cool.
That's cool.
Hang out with Voss on the road?
That's
That is
cool.
pretty cool.
Okay. I mean, I'm doing sets at the stand and the cellar tonight. That's nerdy, right?
No,
No,
that's
that's
really
really
cool.
cool.
That's
No,
really cool.
it's a bar that people come in to
Bars are cool.
hear you talk edgy as possible.
That's cool.
I know Earl, Mr. fucking By the way, backgammon is about the coolest thing that Earl does. I think your nerdy thing is the
Music?
bad photography.
I think it's music. I think he's a nerd,
Music.
nerd about music. Luther in Oakland.
Hey,
I just
Luther.
wanted to chime in and say that I've played Settlers of Catan, and it's a great game for those who are keen on tedious things.
Is it
boring.
tedious?
It's not tedious at all.
Yeah.
No, it's because you don't understand the game. That's why. You know what? Settlers of
I
Catan doesn't
play
suck.
the game. I
You suck.
understand it's boring. It's like Monopoly. It's just like a Monopoly game in ancient times.
Are you fucking
By the way,
kidding me?
let's stop for a second. Monopoly is a very, very fucking fun game
It
and
is
very,
fun.
very fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
I would say the king of the board games is Monopoly.
Yeah.
I mean, the board games. I think a board game you can't get. I'd much rather play a board game than a video game.
Yeah.
If I have people together, who wants to see somebody because your thumbs are fast? You should fucking win.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Plus, like, I like a board game that involves skill set. You know, don't give me like a shoots and ladders. That's just luck.
I'll still play shoots and
I'll
ladders
play
in a
it, but I'm
heartbeat.
just saying there's ones that require skill, and those are the ones I like. I like Scrabble.
What was your first of all the board games that you played?
The first one I can remember playing is Candyland.
Absolutely the best thing for a child to play. I highly recommend Juju's first game
Yeah.
is Candyland.
It's the first one I can remember, and I can remember all the characters like obsessing over like the lollipop and the like the fudgy like
And that ice cream
Yeah.
thing, the ice cream float, the gumdrop mountain. Sometimes I remember if I hit a thing where I jumped ahead, I'll go, no, I don't even get the gumdrop mountain. Kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Seems like a big fun thing.
Hey Kevin in Nebraska.
Hey, so I just wanted to chime in on kind of one of the nerdy things that I do. So I'm 30 years old, and instead of actually playing games, I like to hop on YouTube and watch other people play video games and all that.
Yeah, that sounds sad to me, but
Yeah,
I
that's
know the
nerdy.
little kids in our family watch
They do.
people, I don't know, build things or do things or whatever.
Yeah, that's the what's the build
Minecraft
Minecraft. They watch other people playing Minecraft.
and Fortnite.
And they have special ones that they like best.
yeah.
They're like, that fucking dude's amazing.
Now, I have said I can't really imagine sitting around watching YouTube videos of people playing video games. However, one time my brother was playing, what's that game where everyone got destroyed?
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. And he was playing it, and I was like, this is riveting. And I sat there for 3 hours and just watched. And he was like, do you want to play? And I was like, no, I'm enjoying this. It was
That's
like
weird.
I sat there and watched like a movie.
I got very frustrated by that game too because there's a lot of stupid things that you could do.
I fucking hate that game.
Build a thing to get out. But then he won one of the things and we all went fucking
It
crazy.
was
I mean,
so
it was,
exciting.
I didn't remember that online game, that trivia game that we used to watch every day at 3:00, and it was like a lot of fun. And then
HQ.
Yeah.
then we just all quit.
Yeah.
And the other guy,
Scott Rogowski, Lag Daddy.
yeah, he left.
Yeah, he's gone. He's on Dazen.
And now I don't even know anybody who
No.
plays that game.
No, I was thinking about the other day. There's no. Why?
But it
Twice
was
we got to
crazy.
the last question and we were going
It
out of
was-
our minds.
It was so exciting. Ryan in Oakland.
Chris, you would get destroyed in any kind of professional or amateur organized Catan game.
Why is
Oh,
that?
God
Why is
damn
that?
it.
Give it up, dude.
Why is that? Why would I?
Why is it? Okay, how many? What's your maximum number of roads you can have?
That's 17.
Oh, you don't know.
I just said it.
what's
You
your
didn't give me
maximum
the
number?
fucking goddamn way to answer, dick.
I'm starting to
Oh.
doubt you, Chris.
Why?
It
Because
doesn't
this
seem-
jerk off?
Yes.
You don't even
Hey,
know.
anyway, hold on. And anyway, bro, why the fuck would I go for longest
How many-
road when I get
Come on,
fucking every
hold on.
goddamn
Don't come strong at
dev
me, 'cause
card?
I'll knock you back.
Oh, with what, bro? With what? If you go for longest road, you're a fucking chump. Get the fuck out
Are
of
you
here.
crazy, Chris? You're going for the dev
longest
cards
road
instead
is-
of longest roads?
I'm always going dev cards.
What are
I want
you
that. I
doing?
want that largest army, Ron. I want those
No.
victory points.
Ryan seems to know what he's
That's
talking
good,
about.
but it's slow. It's good, but it's slow. How many
He just fucking-
resources of each type are in the deck? And can you count them as they come out, or are you keeping track on a piece of paper?
I'm fucking counting them as they come out because I want to play that Monopoly card, bro. I'm gonna get all the fucking hay and all the rock. I'm gonna build the fucking seasoning to do. So don't come at me and fucking act like I don't know what I'm fucking doing.
It does seem like you're confused, though. Like Ryan has really caught you.
Ryan's caught me
He's
in
playing
nothing.
a West. He's Oakland.
the way
Those
Ryan
fuckers are
explains
crazy.
it, I didn't even know these things existed, and
And
now,
now
all of
I'm
a sudden,
doubting.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like
now I'm
now I feel
doubting
like Ryan
Chris.
knows what
There's
he's.
nothing to doubt. I'm going to Canton, Ron.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Ron?
Why don't you just not do this and
No.
enjoy it with your friends?
Ron, I've paid the $30 fee. I'm going.
It sounds like Ryan's going to Ken.
Ryan's going nowhere
If
fast.
Ryan does know the details of the games and you don't.
I just told him the fucking details of the game because for whatever reason he's quizzing me on it.
Ryan, why do you think that Chris lacks what it takes?
Because first of all, responds really aggressively whenever anything goes wrong for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not. It's like it's a lot of bluster. Like I know he's really harmless when it comes down to it. But
really?
The other 3 players who aren't your friends
Yeah.
are going to target you.
Uh-huh.
And when you're trying to get that resource
Yeah.
tile, they're gonna fuck you on it.
Bro,
They want you.
It sounds like it, man. You're not ready for this.
I'm fucking more than ready. I want them to fucking come at me, all right? I'm going to call out all 3 of those assholes.
Fucking hooved animal. You goddamn centaur.
Oh, no, I'm a mythical creature.
What?
Yes, you are.
He's calling me a centaur, Ron.
Is that part of the game?
And that's nothing to do with the game.
Now, Ryan, are these guys gonna smack talk?
Some people might. Some people.
I'd welcome it.
On the player.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen is there's going
Tell
to
me.
be like this unspoken alliance that's going to occur with these other 3 players when
They're
they
gonna see you.
Chris in there.
They're gonna see him
And
coming.
There's a game that exists beyond the board.
The game within the game.
Bro, I'm ready for it.
No,
You're
it's
talking
No,
you're
you
talking
don't,
a bunch
'cause
of crazy
not within the
bullshit.
game.
Listen,
It's
you
all-
didn't know that there was a game beyond the game. Ryan just explained this. There's a social game.
Ryan's explaining nothing to me because I know it all already.
And if there's a social game, he's not winning.
No,
All right.
no. You're the first going to get voted out on Big Brother or whatever it is.
Well, this isn't
Right
Big
out of
Brother.
there
This
on-
is Sellers of Catan.
And you feel like this is about the game itself.
It's about the game itself.
I want to believe you.
You can believe me.
All right. Thanks for
I think
calling,
you would
Ryan.
make
Thanks
a
for
pretty good
straightening us
showing.
out.
Thanks.
Yep. Enjoy.
Thank you, Ryan.
Did that ruin it for you, Chris?
No, it made me even fucking more eager to go. Because if the people that are going to be there, they're like Ryan, this is going to be even easier than I thought it would be.
Well, I mean, to me, it sounds like you need work. Like, should you be studying up in some way? Because he started throwing out numbers. I don't know if you know them. What's
I
this
know.
about?
I can
hay?
hit balls to you if that helps at all.
That'd be fun.
Take out Dicks and Grounders.
See, he was bringing up hay, Gail. Hay is the most important resource in the game because
Okay.
hay can help you build.
Because you're a horse?
No, because hay helps you buy dev cards, build settlements, and build cities, and that's it's the most
You
important
can't
resource.
build a city from hay.
We
Well,
built this city with lots of hay.
They sell a T-shirt.
I got some dev cards coming at you. Oh my God, Chris is out already.
Nope.
He's the first one out today.
Not gonna happen.
Here's what I'm going to do, Chris, to
Tell me,
back
Ron.
you up.
Tell me, Ron.
I'm bringing a bag of egg salad sandwiches for you and any of your new friends.
Oh, nice.
I love an egg salad sandwich.
Yeah, they're good.
Egg salad's the shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason in Rochester.
Hey, I just want to start out by saying I can kick Chris's ass in Catan.
You just said Catan. Fucking bring it, bro.
Why are you fighting with everyone?
Because they're
These are
picking
your
a fight. They're picking a fight,
I
Ron.
feel- I-
There's so few of you that play this game. Why aren't you trying to be
I
friends
know.
with people?
That's the
I
thing
don't
that's
know.
so weird to me.
I'd be texting.
And I would be so excited to be like, oh, you play Catan too?
That's why I want to be. But the Ryans and the Jasons of the world just want to come at me.
Ryan's and Jason's.
Jason.
Yeah, I just want to back him up and say it is fun though. Like me and my friends get together at least once or twice a week, and it's a blast. We just hang out and smoke pot, drink beer.
Chris, do you smoke pot and drink beer while you're playing?
I vape and drink beer, sometimes liquor.
Do you vape herb at all, or you're not? You're not.
I mean,
you're off the herb
I'm
bandwagon.
off the herb. Like there's like that CBD weed hybrid that I like, but just straight fucking vaping, I can't because I fucking vape too much of it and I'm fucking blasted. And I just fucking feel
Can't
brain
be
dead.
trusted.
No,
That makes me wonder how you're going to be with Catan.
I need some cut in my weed. It's fucking sad.
Well, yeah, it is.
I would have thought that these people would have called up and you'd have been excited to have other people
I know.
say.
I was excited.
That's
but they
what
call up.
makes me worried because if there's a social game and you're not going to be friendly to these people, they're going to target you.
They can target me all they like. That's fine. I don't mind being targeted. I get targeted in the games I'm playing already. Whatever. You
What?
get past it. You move the
You're
robber.
kind of like the Trump of this game.
Yeah,
I've-
you're the Trump of Catan.
People have yelled that at me.
President of Catan. Hey, Craig in Virginia.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Hey.
Chris has been screaming so long, I think we need to start a Deadpool or like a square board saying when he gets out and then put a challenge at the end, how soon he goes out.
You're gonna lose.
I mean, here's the thing. It sounds like there's not, of all the players, they don't have a lot of confidence in you, which is...
It's because they're haters.
Earl, how do you think he's going to do?
I don't think he has the temperament. He has to. You have to have a certain mindset. You have to be
Catan
very,
man
very.
always has very even keel.
What does Earl know about temperament? He blacks out from rage.
You know how you
look
were
what
so-
you're doing. You're not even making any sense.
I know everything that's happening here. I have a memory.
He does got you. You know how you did the parody song?
Yes.
I'm gonna do one for you.
Okay.
Hey, prepare yourself. It's Chris the Catan man. His name is Chris Catan. He's the Catan man. Would it be weird if we went to see you play?
I wouldn't mind at all.
Can we bring Juju?
Sure.
Yeah, because we want her to see people her own age.
Tony in Seattle.
Hey, Chris, are there going to be kids at this thing?
Sure.
No idea. I hope so. You know what? I hope the field's weak. Weaker than I already think it's
What
going to
makes you think it's weak?
I don't think a child is thinking on my level when it comes to Sellers.
How are you going to win this thing when you got a huge boner?
That's neither here nor there.
Don't fucking do that, Chris.
I'm not going to be hard at the fucking Catan tournament.
All right, can I be honest about this?
Yes.
What kind of fucking clothes are you going to be wearing?
I don't know yet. I was
Not a
thinking
dad
about
shirt.
it. You know,
Don't wear a dad shirt.
Okay.
No. Let's look up and see if there's any cool Catan wear we can get.
Oh, you can go to CatanShop.com for that.
All right, let's go.
Let's see.
They have a myriad of.
Myriad? You are a nerd.
Oh, God. What is
These
this
aren't
stuff?
exactly cool things to wear.
Let's see.
All right,
Merch.
let's go to the
Get us to the
merch.
merch table.
Youth. Men's.
Good.
Oh,
A
God.
lot of hoodies.
All right, so what's
up with
And then there's a sheep.
Yeah, there's we built this city on rock and wheat T-shirts.
We built this city. We built this city on rock and wheat.
You need three
Wait,
hay.
Nobody
wheat.
wants your stinking
You've
sheep.
been calling it hay.
People call it hay. People call it fucking wheat. It's.
Look, know the lingo, okay?
I
'Cause
know the
that's gonna
fucking
make you
lingo.
look like a real tourist, you know?
No one wants your stinking sheep because sheep are the least valuable of the resources.
You don't want to be the kid in Little League who says home base.
There's a Pride Catan shirt. That's nice.
Oh, cool. That's good for you.
It's settle down because Sellers of Catan.
Okay, got it.
Summer's coming. I don't know what that means. other
That's
than
cool, man.
Wood for sheep. There's a lot of trading between players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of Catan. That's pretty cool. It's a Catan ugly sweater.
How long has this game been around?
I think 20 or 30 years, something like that.
Wow.
What?
This-
You said
now-
new, I thought.
I mean, how could something be around 30 years and 99% of us haven't heard of it?
Hey, Steve in Florida.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
I used to play Catan with my ex-brother-in-law. It was really fun. Chris sounds like the type of guy you want to probably hit over the head with like a brick while you're playing.
Well,
But,
I mean, he is weirdly competitive.
I'm going in for it, man.
Yeah, it's a bit much for a board game, but I think Chris's game is probably Cup-Tan as opposed to Cut-Tan.
Wood for fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Now, here's the weird thing. Out of everyone here, guess who's probably the most competitive? Earl Douglas. He gets crazy about games. He'll fucking start fights in the softball field. He's very, very competitive.
I did not know that about you, Earl.
Play to win. You have
He's
to play
like,
to win.
but why don't you do that with your job?
Yeah,
That's
why
what I
I'm
don't
shocked. I
understand.
would have thought he'd been like, whatever.
Now, you'll do anything to win, right? So you got to respect the Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox for the way that they've cheated at baseball.
Not at all. They get whatever was coming to them, and they deserve whatever is coming to them as well. The
But don't
Sox
you
haven't
think
been
it's-
punished yet.
Don't you think it's great that each of them probably robbed the fucking series away from the Yankees?
I'm furious because remember in the 2017 LCS, the home teams won all the games, and they were all the games on the road were tight games. The Yankees blew them out.
Oh, no, I remember that.
And if the idea that remember against the Dodgers, everyone was like, it was like they knew the pitchers were coming.
Yes.
In fact, turns out they knew the pitchers were coming.
So that's what they do. They would use technology to steal. So you know when you're getting a fastball, you know when you're getting a curve, you know when you're getting a slider, and then they didn't even have a signal for Cuban palm. Because it rose. Fucking rose up. But it's really weird to see baseball striking down. I mean, these guys are out of the game for right now. Their own fucking teams don't want them. And when you know it, then they also said, okay, the coaches are out, but the players, no.
Yeah.
Why? A player cheated. And they said, well, they were told to. What? When is that okay?
They're grown
They're being good Nazis.
I just want to say something about Yankee fans real quick because this is really bothering me. Every fucking Yankees fan up in arms about this forgets that how many championships they won with people blatantly taking steroids. And that's cheating just as much as this is cheating.
So what's your point?
I'm just
it
sick
doesn't
of
make one better than the other.
I know, but I'm sick of Yankee fans acting like they were cheated out of something.
You just don't like the Yankees and their fans.
I don't.
We can't take your opinion about this one thing.
You're a loser Met fan, dude. You're never going to win.
Your team should be fucking cheating.
We are. We just got Beltran, so like we'll see what he does.
Again, you took this thing into the same Queens versus the Bronx, place that he always goes. And Chris lives in Queens and he hates the fucking Mets.
Why do you?
They're
You
a
should've been a Mets
garbage
boy.
organization. My father was a Yankees fan. I'm a Yankees fan.
And you're a garbage Catan player.
You don't even fucking know what
You
you're
didn't
saying
know it was
right now.
grain. You fucking
It wasn't
loser.
grain, it was wheat.
It makes you look even stupider.
It's grain, actually. Somebody tweeted at me and told me it's grain.
They're
and Chris
wrong. We just saw the T-shirt. It says wheat. He's saying hey like a moron.
I like saying hey. Some people call sheep babas, and that drives me fucking nuts.
Why? Because
Look,
you don't
you
think
need-
it's cool?
No, I
need
think
to-
it's really stupid.
I think you need to get with the lingo. If that's what the kids are
Yeah.
saying, say Baba.
No, I'm going in there with my own lingo, and I'm going to play the game how I want to play it. And if they don't like it, they can suck me off.
Trump.
Dude, if you say that, you're going to be out of the tournament. They don't put up with your
Especially
potty
because
talk.
a good portion of these are underage children.
Yeah. Try to just get as many babas as you can at the beginning.
Rod, seriously.
I mean, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, doesn't a duck say Baba?
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking get a shirt that says I'm Baba Bennington here for Chris Kattan. And I'm gonna be fucking yelling the whole time this is going on.
Rod in Los Angeles.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Chris, I
Yes.
don't know jack shit about the game, never played it, but I know they have an online version called Catan Universe if you want to keep playing and get more practice in.
Yeah, I have the Catan version on the Switch, Nintendo Switch.
How's
Play
that working out for
I mean,
you?
it's fine. I don't really like playing. I rather play in person.
You
but
playing against other players or you playing against the
you
computer?
play against other players.
You feel like you can't get the same read that you get when you're facing.
I really do like it.
Yeah.
Like, I just enjoy it better like in person.
Yeah, sure. I agree with you. I'm a fucking old school that way. I like human beings, like being around them.
Can't take this digital revolution.
Andrew in New Jersey.
Hey, Ronnie, the reason Major League Baseball isn't going after the players is they're protected by the union, and they could go after them, but it would take years and years, and it would drag out so long that it's not even worth it.
So what? A rule's a rule. You know what I mean? A rule's a rule. If you got to go after him, you got to go after him. So what?
Yeah, but it's easier for them to just pluck off people in management.
Yeah, well, you can do that while you're still going after everybody. If you want this rule to stick, there has to be consequences.
Yeah.
Or else you go like this. Of course, if you have a camera, steal the fucking pictures. What's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a
I
big deal
agree
about
with
that.
you, but-
How about you say this?
Yeah.
The fucking catcher can no longer talk to the pitcher. How's that for everybody? He doesn't know what kind of pitch is coming his way. If they're caught giving fucking signs,
Yeah.
that might add a lot of excitement to the game. A lot of passed balls, which I consider the best game of professional sports. Do you see what I'm saying, Earl?
Yes, I mean, and this is going beyond the basic, you steal signs all the time. You're standing on second base, you're stealing a sign. This is going beyond. You're basically watching a video monitor, but the replay monitor, and stealing signs.
But I will tell you something. When there's technology, you're now dealing with the technology. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking football used to have fucking signs, and now they're like, you know what? Let's just put a fucking earpiece in. Why don't you put a fucking earpiece in those guys? The coach says, here's what you're throwing. You're throwing a fucking slider. How's that sound? Anybody fucking says any difference? It's going to be not out of the Catan game when they're playing it. We're all playing.
I like that.
Do you know that's the number one game played by baseball players in the fucking travel days?
I had no idea.
Yeah. Used to be fucking poker. No more.
Straight Catan. Look, I own a Catan Travel Edition. It's great.
Dave in Virginia.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, the people have been cheating in baseball and in all sports for years. I mean, it's ridiculous that the punishment that the Astros got, because you can get busted multiple times for steroids and not get that same punishment.
But
in
they
football,
they
they hire lip readers.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I mean, the steroid thing is because somebody could accidentally end up with steroids in their system when they're taking other kind of medication, stuff that you can, use to heal. There's what Earl is describing. Oh, we put video monitors on this game and we're stealing the things that way. I mean, you can't accidentally do that. I mean, there's a reason people don't like baseball anymore. And it is the Houston Astros. That's the reason why people don't like baseball.
Corey in Rockland.
Hey, guys. I think why doesn't the pitcher and the catcher wear earpieces and listen to the pitching manager from the dugout?
I just brought that up.
There you go.
And, Earl, where would you be on that?
I'm for it, but then sometimes you might get let's say the catcher gets a foul tip off the helmet and the earpiece goes out.
Let's see if we can't run another helmet out to him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It happens.
Remember, Ken Patero would just say, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. And that's how sports should be.
You think cheating is part of the game? It should be part of the game.
If they could figure out your signs, go right ahead.
Let me tell you something. If they still, in this sport, allow someone to throw a 104-mile-an-hour baseball against another human being who's only fucking 9 feet away, out of everything in sports, I honestly believe that's the most dangerous thing, and it's still an acceptable thing.
Yeah.
I'll shoot somebody if they fucking throw that ball at me. I'll fucking get a gun and shoot them in the neck. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It can kill somebody.
Yeah, and people are okay with it. Yeah. I mean, what I would do, they're going, oh, there's no way to stop it. Really? How about a lifetime fucking suspension from baseball? Probably stop it tomorrow.
It's all in the name of entertainment, and people love it. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Well, people love a lot of things. You know what I mean? Earl loves rape, but we won't let him do it.
No. It's illegal.
He wants it so bad.
And immoral.
I don't think it's very Christian, personally.
No. Earl's from a different kind of Christianity.
Yeah.
Funkier stuff.
Oh, that's cool, though.
Rapier.
It's the funk. So you're pro-rape then, Earl?
I won't call it pro rape.
By the way, Earl's going to Detroit. Going to Detroit with me this weekend.
Oh, cool. That's so exciting.
And we are going to get fucked up. No. We made up our mind.
What?
Yeah. When in Detroit, get fucked up. You ever been to Motown, Earl?
No, and I've always wanted to go.
Now you are.
Now you have your opportunity.
Creepstore.com.
Creepstore.com. That's the Creep Store with Bob Kelly, Rich Voss, Jim Florentine, Ron and Bennington. It'll be at the Emerald Theater in Detroit this Saturday, January 18th.
I believe those guys are coming in tomorrow, too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get a fucking Settlers of Catan going.
Can we? Would you teach us?
I'll teach you guys. All right, so it'll be the expansion. So you six will play, and I will just tell you how to.
Oh, what are you afraid? One of us will beat you? Get a couple lucky spins?
Max is 6, Ron, even with the expansion.
Pussy.
Yeah.
What? I didn't make up the board.
Yeah, but you also could have said, Voss shouldn't be in this, and then you take his place.
Okay, fine. Let's do it.
Yeah, right. I don't believe you'll even do it. Let's go to a friend of mine who picked his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame today. Johnny. Johnny, why no Soundgarden?
Too many dead people. I think they're literally the only one person playing that's not dead. So that's a weird class, but I don't know.
Where is it this year? You going, Johnny?
No, it's in Cleveland. I did go to the one. What year did I go? I went to hear the E Street Band got inducted, and it was in Brooklyn, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was long as hell, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it was like, I want to say it was like a 5 or 6 hour thing, and I like to duck out real quick out of most things, but I was there with our big boss, and I was wearing a tuxedo, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like,
Finally, one day in your life, you had to follow the fucking rules, huh, Jenny?
yeah. It was like
You're normally so punk rock.
He's normally the Houston Astros of fucking management.
How do they not make them vacate their title? That's my question with all this shit.
You would actually do that, huh?
Well, I mean, let's think about the pitch that little shit hit to end this year's AL championship game. There's no way that 5'0" guy is going to hit that pitch unless he knew exactly what was coming. And he knew exactly what was coming, and that knocked the Yankees out. I'm not being a bitter Yankee fan, maybe a little, but I think that, if they were proved to be cheating, they're going to fire, they're going to suspend. Cora got fired before.
Well,
they're probably going to still suspend him for at least 3 to 5 years because he was the mastermind. How do you not make him vacate a title? I mean, only because it'll look terrible for Major League Baseball. That's why they won't.
Who cares? They already look terrible anyway. Now, what do you say to what Vito says? Vito claims, Johnny, you're a fucking hypocrite Yankee fan because so many of your titles are built on the back of the steroid monster.
Who? Alex Rodriguez, who won one? Because that's the only Yankee.
So you'd be willing to give that one back, the Alex Rodriguez?
No, because every single title in the last 20 plus years would have to be then given back because everybody had one. And I got news for you. This year, the shock of them all is that Barry Bonds will be elected into the Hall of Fame this year, as will Mark McGwire. They're going to make it.
You put money down on that one?
It's already, if you look, there's a guy weird dude who tabulates votes as they come in because they're public, and the two of them are already over the threshold. So yes, if you'd like to bet, I'm happy to wager that they'll make it.
I knew you would bet on the cheat bet like that.
Like a real Yankee.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to make it's a 75% threshold, and they're over it already. So, if the votes keep coming in as they are, it looks like the two of them, the first two are going to get in. And then it's just going to very slowly. Actually, I think it's Clemens. I'm sorry. I think Clemens and Bonds are going to get in this year. And then So Alex Rodriguez, if that happens, then A-Rod's going to get in.
You got to let them in. If they put in any of those guys, it's the same thing that happened with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The second you let in Kiss, you're like, well, we have to let in Rush. You know what I mean? And it's true.
Yeah.
Right. If you've taken away the criteria that you had at the beginning of it, and the criteria should be near perfection, no matter what your Hall of Fame is. Near perfection. That's why I wouldn't even have put Jimmy Johnson in the Football Hall of Fame. Felt like he wasn't in the game long enough.
Not at all.
And he walked out. He turned his back on the game with a team that maybe could have had an extra 2 or 3. Why? Because your owner's a dick? Who isn't?
Exactly.
Who's got like a great owner? All right, Johnny. See you later.
Bye,
See you in the
Johnny.
fucking funny papers, Johnny. Peace.
Let's go over here to Kevin in Utica.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, how does Whitney Houston get in over Pat Benatar? She's not rock and roll. And when are they going to let Steppenwolf in?
Well, first of all, let's just stay with one. I mean, first, Steppenwolf, the fact that you did Born to Be Wild, what more you got to do?
Magic Carpet Ride.
You might like the song Magic Carpet Ride, but Steppenwolf is going to fit in with a number of songs that are just absolutely a perfect rock song.
Mm-hmm.
I put it up there with Wild Thing, fucking Gloria. There's just songs that you're like, holy shit, this is perfect.
It's just a rock and roll song.
Now, Earl, you heard when I brought this up, these two millennials laughed in my face when I brought up Pat Benatar for 2 reasons.
We did laugh.
Number 1, she is a woman. Number 2, she's from Long Island. And number 3, the camel toe. To me, those are the 3 reasons that I would put her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As a proud African American, would you put Whitney Houston and all of her hits in before Pat Benatar?
I would put Pat Benatar ahead of Whitney Houston.
She belongs there.
100% belongs there. Before Whitney came along, she was the premier
But under the
female
same
rock vocalist.
circumstance we've just explained, that they changed the criteria to include things that don't go under the rock and roll umbrella. If you're going to do that, don't you think Whitney Houston deserves to be in there?
She deserves to be in there. I'm not necessarily saying this year, but how many times has Pat Benatar been on the ballot? How many times she hasn't been on the ballot and she's been eligible? She was the female rock vocalist. People wanted to look like her. Guys wanted to be with her. The sound.
That's fucking disgusting.
Jesus, that goes back to his rape
People
thing.
of both genders.
Like she was the best. Like basically from 80 to 90, she was the best.
That's a little longer than I would have given her. I would have said it's 79 to maybe an 84, which is a long time.
Yeah.
Somebody's whole high school fucking years.
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker, fuck taker, shit maker, gonna fuck around with me. Heartbreaker, fuck taker. Let's go to Ryan in Calgary.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, yo, $1 million. So I put all my money on Chris Stanley for any game, whether it's Catan or anything else.
Fucking love it.
Take Chris Stanley and Pepper Hicks. They're the original Parker brothers.
I'm going to say something. You made me believe in Chris in a way that nobody else could
I
today.
didn't see that before, Ryan. Yeah.
I will say,
That's what I'm a promoter.
but I'll say this, Gail. I so want this kid to get his chance to do this. You know what I mean?
I want my shot.
I love that he has a hobby that he's proud of.
Look,
and you got away from cornhole, which you were into for a while.
That's a summer thing,
You
Ron.
told me that you were going to be the cornhole champ of the Northeast or something.
Look, I was trying to get into the ACL, the ALC, the American Cornhole League.
I saw some of them on TV. I don't think you. I mean,
They're
it was
really
unbelievable
good.
what they're doing.
They're really good. Everyone's a goddamn fucking cornhole.
I want you to win.
I want to
But
win too.
That's why I'm concerned when I hear people calling in and saying things that makes me think that you don't know the game on the level of some of these pros.
I want any of these idiots to try to fuck. There's no
I'm
way.
glad you're confident, but I want you to be prepared.
I'm prepared. I've fucking been playing Catan nonstop.
Just with your girlfriend's friends? I mean, is that enough?
I'm playing it online. I'm playing it in real life. I know what I'm fucking doing.
IRL.
They're all fucking sick of me winning. They all fucking don't like me.
Is there a reason that this Catan game doesn't seem to have any black people playing? Is it your own fucking racism?
I think it's because it's a German game, and there's a German guy's name on the cover of it. It's not even just Sellers of Catan. It's like Hans Gruber or something.
That's pretty cool.
Oh no, that's
Hi, close to Hans Gruber. Yippee-yi-yi, Chris Catanley. Would you consider changing your last name to Catanley?
If I represent the United States in the World Championship, sure.
I love it.
I'll definitely fucking.
Family.
What if we got you a silk jacket? I don't want you to get the same shirts from this shop in case everybody's wearing them.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, I don't want to go
Could
there.
you wear some sort of settler garb? You know, like some sort of a potato sack
Or
tunic.
cloak.
What about something that says, I'm here to win this thing, and it's just a fucking blazer that says, you will suck my ass pipe?
Yeah, I think that could work.
I mean, that'll get in everyone's fucking heads. And that's what I want to do. I want to fucking.
Would you consider shaving the head and putting a big tattoo of the map of the game on your head? Is that out of the question?
I mean, that would look cool.
I'm
but
dying for him to win this game, man. I feel like I could almost start crying when I think about it.
I want to roll in there. I want to dominate. I want to be in and out that Sunday. Sunday,
Could we
10
head
a.m.
over to the Diamond District,
Yeah.
see if they have some sort of a diamond gold piece with just a big bale of hay,
I would love that.
Hay or wheat?
whichever.
It's either.
Grain.
Definitely not a sheep, though, or a baba.
Why don't you come in, fucking suck it on a baby bottle, and just have it say, baby, what's his baba?
That's a great idea.
Hey, Joe in Virginia. You're on Bennington.
Hey, Ron, Gil.
What's up?
On the stealing sign, they say it's okay if you don't use electronics. Well, is that saying it's okay to steal money out of the cash register, but it's illegal to steal it electronically?
Yeah, Earl, why don't you fuck? He's got
You
you.
didn't bring up that point.
Well, if you steal any money, you're gonna get caught and
We're
get
not talking
arrested.
about stealing money. We're talking about stealing signs. You're fine with a guy being on second stealing the sign. You're fucking happy about it.
I'm just saying there's a difference between.
There isn't a difference.
There's a big
Stealing.
difference between stealing a sign while you're on second base and basically using a video monitor.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is there shouldn't be a difference. If this thing is a fucking crime, let's make it a crime. Take a motherfucker's thumb off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it used to be if you stole a sign, you got drilled. The next time you got up, you got drilled. That was just part of the game. No, like you got hit. You got hit with a pitch.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know how it works.
Hey, I just forgot we got to play Dish.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Kashmir is here. You know what that means, Earl? It's coffee time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you taking any money off Gail. That's got to fucking stop. Please, please tell me now. What is it? Just when I'm ready to break, you come running in with fucking... You want me to start it or you?
I'll start it.
I could start it.
No, well, it's up to you.
All right. You start it.
Okay.
It's a new...
I thought you said me.
I thought I was me.
Oh, okay.
It's a new year. The perfect opportunity to take your business to the next level by hiring the right people. But finding qualified candidates can be challenging. To keep growing your team, you need the right tools to help keep hiring you streamlined and efficient. Luckily, ZipRecruiter makes hiring easy.
ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invite them to apply to your job.
As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get the quality candidate coming through the site within the first day.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/Bennington. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BENNINGTON. ZipRecruiter.com/Bennington.
Happy Wednesday.
You can see Kashmir and Casey Balsham host Not Another True Crime podcast live at Union Hall, January 24th, 7:30 p.m. For tickets, check out the link on his Instagram at Kashmir Danny.
Now, are you guys going to be talking murder there?
We're going to be doing some murder. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to get a little crazy. Yeah.
Exciting.
It should be fun. Yeah, we just figured out all the games we're going to play.
Murder is the name that they gave me.
I can't believe that we listen to the Dish song once a week and we have never tired of it. We are excited every time it comes on.
It brings new life.
It starts a dance party in here.
I was just thinking it would be fun to have a celebrity guest and then we dance like that in front of them.
That's not what they do.
Yeah. So, like, see who lacks the balls.
Or, like, you know
to
what?
commit.
Make them think it's like an Ellen thing. We're like, get it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
And then they start
Get it.
dancing and they're like, is this
Come
even
on,
on camera?
Get the
Or,
people
like-
from the hallway. Do it. Be a guest.
Who would be the biggest star that you would be afraid or the smallest star to do that?
Oh,
Like,
my God.
you know?
Interesting. I honestly feel like almost anyone out of our social circle
No, I
be
would definitely do it in front of anyone. Except for when we got to Brad Pitt, I would sit here comfortably.
That's when you're like, okay.
Or I'd go like this: serve a pit, that mighty pit.
I've often thought about, celebrity guest, like what would be like too much, like I would get too nervous.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's a reason you bring up a lot when you love someone when you're young, I think if I ever had to be in the same room with Leonardo DiCaprio, I think I would have no chill.
You would revert back to...
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
what
anything
happened.
to do with him today or anything about his roles or his work now. It has to do with me at 12 years old.
Right.
And I honestly think if that happened, I would be like, I simply can't.
No,
I will embarrass myself. I'll be weird.
Yeah,
I don't think I would
you
be
pull
normal.
out all your posters, you do all that. Well, that'd be because I met Melissa Joan Hart once because she and I loved her when I was little, but we didn't really hit it off. So
Wow.
You know what? I feel like she doesn't hit it off with a lot of people. That's
doesn't
what
love
I
a lot
get
of
from
vibes.
her whole thing.
I don't know whether I've ever had anyone that I loved when I was a kid that I dislike, but sometimes people come in and they seem like they're not really good on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of certainly interviews that we have done that I was like, I'm so excited for this person to come in, and like 30 seconds in, I'm like, I wish this person wasn't here because
I just want to see you on a screen.
Yeah, but you also go, why do I like your music more than you do, Joe Jackson?
100%. I mean, I literally showed up with Joe Jackson records for him to sign, and like seconds into it, I was like, "Oh, this is so uncomfortable.
You're like, oh,
this is not a good moment."
I'll just take his security badge. Yeah.
Bumper stepping out.
I do love that song though.
I always thought that was like, and Earl, because of the video, I mean, it was almost a little bit of a comeback song for New York City. Like, oh, looking to live in New York. It's just not murderous and scary. You're also stepping out.
Stepping
There's
out.
good clubs here.
Ironing shirts. I feel like he does that in the music video.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah. That BuzzFeed decided to break down to how the press has been treating Meghan and Kate. And Gail actually sent me this.
Yes. Yeah.
All the headlines that show how different they're being treated. And it is insane from the get-go how much Britain just did not
I
want
found this,
Meghan
and I
Markle.
was like, Kashmir. I know what we're talking about for Dish. This to me is insanity.
And it's also, it's like from the same outlets and everything like that.
Exactly. So you're comparing Daily Mail covering
Female
Kate.
column.
Exactly. Not long to go. Pregnant Kate tenderly cradles her baby bump while wrapping up her royal duties. Okay, let's look over here. Why can't Meghan Markle keep her hands off her bump? Experts tackle the question that has got the nation talking. Pride, vanity, acting, or new age bonding technique. Literally the same exact shit.
Racial.
It's a bit racial.
A little bit.
What's this one here?
Kate's morning sickness cure.
Kate's morning sickness cure. Prince William gifted with an avocado for pregnant
Which, like,
Duchess. Okay,
That
weird.
sucks you're giving an avocado when you're vomiting, but sure.
That's a terrible push present. Meghan Markle's beloved avocado linked to human rights abuse and drought. Millennial shame.
It is true. There's a lot of sex trafficking caught up in guacamole.
Yep.
Well, because they didn't put that Meghan Markle just threw the avocado at anyone who was poorer than her.
Kate and Will's Inc., Duke and Duchess secretly set up companies to protect their brand, just like the Beckhams.
Good for them.
Bend it like Beckham.
Over here for Meghan, a right royal cash-in. How Prince Harry and Meghan Markle trademarked over 100 times from hoodies to socks 6 months before split with monarchy.
Look at this. There's a picture of Meghan, and underneath it just says "Great Googly Moogly." Great Googly Moogly. I'm glad she's coming back to North America.
Right?
Yeah,
I
because
know.
we're gonna treat her right.
Yeah, she's getting some poutine ready. She's gonna have fun in Canada, and that's her thing. They want to set up base in Canada until the election, which, I mean, sure for them.
Sure.
Those are two people that I'm like, it really won't matter to you guys. Like, you guys are good regardless of who's where.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're getting some time in Canada.
They won't
Dude.
leave them alone.
Yeah.
The amount of articles this past week since you broke the news to us 1 week ago has
was
been
truly
insane. And just this morning on my way in, I saw this one where they were like, Harry's friends dish it all, tell all. Harry stopped calling and hanging out with them while his wife was pregnant, and now he doesn't see them at all.
Bitch.
Yes,
What?
this is what happens when somebody has a baby. You could say this about every couple I know with a newborn.
And I feel like they have even more of an excuse because they're dealing with having a baby that's royal with all these people on top of them too. And he's like, yeah, I'm just
Right.
making sure that my pregnant wife isn't getting like punched in the
And
face
remember,
by my mom, grandma.
there were his old army buddies who he was streaking in Vegas.
Right.
naked.
That's true.
He was like a fucking animal when he was with them.
That's literally just what happens, especially for men. Especially for
Doesn't
men.
happen for Chris.
No babies.
No, but I mean,
Oh, you're missing the point.
missing-
Now, Big Bad Bill is Sweet William. That's the fucking whole point
Yeah.
of this thing.
Yeah.
You're settling down.
I know. Sowing the oats.
Mm-hmm. That's you.
Yeah. And so then we know about how her dad has not been her biggest supporter ever. They are saying that he's gonna be a major component in the Royals' case to kind of have Meghan and Harry strip titles and give back money and things like that.
He wants to
So
go
he
against his
wants-
own daughter.
He wants to go. Yeah, he's cashing in.
Oh, so that now suddenly they want to reach out to Bug Tussle and bring him in.
Right.
After they didn't even want him at the fucking
They
wedding.
were embarrassed of him.
They said he would be sitting on a big fucking thing of hay, just fucking smoking a corn pipe or grain, smoking that corn cob pipe like a fucking moron, drinking out of a jug.
That's my baby.
Yeah, Megan. Yeah, and that's what he's been telling people. She ran a smear campaign against me. She'll do it about the royal family. And I'm like, I don't.
Shut up, you fucking seed.
And also, you're the one who was selling your own photos to paparazzi,
Right.
selling photos of her, selling letters, and you're like, dude, you just gotta.
This dude is trash.
And look at
his staged pictures he sold were so fucking funny. Where he had a book about Britain that he was just reading.
Yeah.
In a Dunkin'
hired a
Donuts.
photographer to take pictures.
Like they gave him that book. I mean,
Let me study up. That shit was so funny.
they're like, hey, wouldn't this be cute if you put your dick in a flower pot?
I guess so.
He's like, whatever you think is best. Yeah. So that's gonna be coming up, and so far her mom has been pretty silent, and she's usually been the one that's been on Meghan's side through all of this. So hopefully that's okay. But I'm interested too that it's gonna be. I don't know how much Thomas Markle, her dad, is gonna be doing because he is very embarrassing to the royal family. But I guess now they're gonna just have all hands on deck.
Although that could backlash them. They have
Yeah.
to really be careful with this one. You know what I mean? Because the fucking father should stay out of his adult children's business.
It's crazy.
You know?
Now, I saw another one. I'm like, who knows? Because everyone's just like, an insider said this, and this friend of the family, blah, blah, blah. But I saw one that was just like, the brothers are like, we're not feuding. Stop saying, I don't know who's telling you.
We're handling this. I think right now it's like if you have a British accent, you're now an insider for this. So they're just kind of grabbing whoever they can get
Right.
to make a comment. But I know because that's been a huge issue for them is that they're saying the brothers are like at each other's like arms and like, no, we're just trying to handle this kind of
Yeah.
on our own situation.
And that, like, their relationship is not destroyed. Or
But I
whatever.
do think the only one that I don't trust is Kate. Well, that one I don't know.
think maybe she's
Yeah.
working against them.
She's like getting tea with the queen saying, what are we going to do? You
Yeah,
know?
how are we going to handle this?
But luckily they're safe because they're staying at Franca Eustras, this Canadian billionaire, is hiding away Meghan and Harry in Canada because he was like, "Don't worry, I got you guys." So they don't have to avoid they don't have to deal with the press. He looks he looks kind of like an evil character from Disney.
Yeah, he does.
But I guess they're just kind of going like with whatever they can take.
He
at
looks
this
like
point.
he's going to say this to him. And now you can't leave. But I wonder if they're sleeping till like noon every day now. You know what I mean? Just sleeping.
Yeah.
Getting up, having pancakes.
Megan's like, "Are you applying to jobs today?" He's like, "I'll get to it. I'll get around to it."
You're like, do you want some tea? No, actually,
Yeah.
I don't.
I want Mountain Dew. Like he lives through his youth
So
again.
they're there now with little Archie.
Little Archie, because that was a huge contention that they left Archie with a nanny while they were going to the UK to like forgo their titles and everything like that. And people were like, they are giving up their baby too. And
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
giving up the kid.
I think they probably were just trying to protect the kid because I feel like the royal family would steal the baby from them.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I actually thought that. I thought, what an interesting move to not travel with the baby. And I was like, were they actually worried about
Right.
something that they're like, oh, and by the way, when you signed this, the baby is ours.
Like
The Queen-
101 Dalmatians come through.
The Queen's going to take the baby, skip twice, and fly out the window like a monkey in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, God.
She is always hunched over. She could have
Yeah.
wings. You never know. And she drives without her seatbelt. Did you see that? Bob?
I'm not a big. I don't follow. I don't care about any royalty. But that Meghan is gorgeous.
Oh.
She's
some
such a
face
beauty.
on her.
Breathtaking.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous, and also she's all even before she had to do because I know whenever someone goes in the royal family, I have to be like, oh, and I actually like philanthropy. Like no one talks about it, but I love it.
Right.
She's been doing that since she was on Suits, and before that, she's been very involved. So I think she's a good person.
Yeah.
She-
And also, she won me over when she like was all tears when they
Oh,
were, like,
that interview.
when he asked her like, "But isn't it really hard on you?" And she's like, "Thanks for asking."
She's like, no one
Oh my
else
God, it
knew?"
was, I mean, it breaks your heart. You just see, and this was, of course, like months before
Any of
everyone
this
even
happened.
knew.
I felt like that's how Lady Bryant was today when I asked her if the red carpets were hard on her.
Yes, she was like right there. Her emotions were right there.
So were mine, though. I went right with her,
Yeah.
and I was just like ready to beat
Me
up
too.
any fashion industry people that showed up. She looked nice today, too, right?
Did she?
She looked great. She's always.
She has her own fashion line.
She
Is
does,
she doing that?
and
That's
it's great.
awesome.
And yeah, she looked amazing.
What's the name
she had
of her
great
line?
shoes. Pauline.
I'm going to change that.
Doesn't have enough excitement. For
Yeah, it doesn't have that same thing.
sexy enough.
It's kind of like it goes like, especially because it goes down at the end. It's like, oh, what's the line called? Pauline.
All right, I'm going to just throw one by you. Sex bolt.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
You better get your ass to sex bolt.
Hey, come back. We just edit it. Yeah, it's a quick refresh. That's them for now. I mean, there's going to be 800 more stories with it. But now we're going to the hot and cold section of what's love got to do with it. Just joined Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last year when Brandy wasn't on it, and people liked her. She was like very cute, getting married on everything like that. But now Brandy's coming out saying that they had an affair.
Hammer.
Excuse me?
And then because Denise is apparently in a open-ish marriage.
Good
the
for
ish
her.
is confusing, but Brandy just thought, oh, I didn't know you didn't want to talk about it. If you're on a reality show, everything's fair game.
Yeah.
But Denise didn't think that as well.
Well, I remember when she was in that open relationship with Matt Dillon back in the Wild Things.
Oh yeah, back in Florida.
So she feels like she was not being respected or supported, so she's stopping filming, which I think is a stupid move because A, you're on the show, like talk about it, it's interesting, and B, you did it. I don't.
Yeah, right.
So and it's funny
Good
too,
for her.
right? I mean, they seem they're having fun together, and everyone's kind of saying too it's suspicious because from the show, Brandy Glanville was this one who would always just like walk around shouting that she's like, I'm a drunk slut and I love it and I'll tell everyone secrets. So people are like, why would Denise? There's so many pretty blonde girls in Hollywood to
Right.
hook up with. It's interesting that she picked this one. So,
This loud mouth.
yeah, this loud mouth. So people are thinking maybe she was doing it for ratings. Who knows?
I like the idea of an open-ish.
Yeah.
It's open on my end.
It's like a spork. You're
Right.
like, yeah.
But also, we're open relationship, but I also have the chance to say no.
Yeah.
Not that one.
And because the interesting thing too is that it was open, but they weren't doing like threesomes. It was just Denise and her. So I
Right.
guess her husband was just.
By the way, this is what's called aging, where it becomes a lot less important to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Janis Joplin is right. Get it while you can.
Yeah, Denise, she's striking out a little bit, but good for if she's paying
You know,
rent. Good for her.
one time I was in the lobby here, and I forget who I was talking to, but Denise Richards came over and joined into our conversation.
Really?
Yeah, and it was really a moment of,
Interesting.
me, Denise Richards.
It really came over to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, Dr. Yeah, Now she's
Very
like-
pretty.
Yeah,
Very, very pretty. It's going to shock people. Very pretty.
because she never gets called that, which is good for. Yeah, I'm glad, yeah. And now with some sad news, the latest Pete Davidson and Kaya Gerber are going their second ways.
Oh, he lost his
know.
Gerber baby.
Yeah,
Look how pretty
this
she
was
is.
the real thing.
I kind of thought, 2020, it's his new year. He's ready for it. So.
No. That's it just keeps happening to him over and over.
I don't know what it is.
And while he's away, remember he went to they would call it rehab, but I don't think that you have to give your things away. I think he went in the nut hut.
Okay.
Because they were like, he was like, yeah, you got to give away your belt and your thing, and I'm like, no, not really. Rehab, we're just there.
Yeah.
Look how much he looks like her mom.
That
really looks like her
Yeah,
mom.
really, really does.
Now, there is some good Pete news.
Oh.
Good.
His movie is going to open up South by Southwest. The
great. Wow.
movie with him and Judd
Ooh.
Apatow. So that just got announced minutes ago. That's pretty cool.
I hope that softens the blow.
Because I feel like he'll be taking Kaya very personally.
But will he be doing the red carpet by himself?
Oh,
maybe
probably
he can
not.
wear
He's gonna
Pauline.
have a new
Yeah.
foxy lady.
If nothing else, I hope Ricky Velez goes with him.
I know. So I feel like it'll be good that maybe he'll have a year to calm down too, because I think everyone's got a little Pete fatigue too.
But Who do you think is going to be his next beautiful baby that he's with?
You know, I could kind of, because the way they're looking, do you know what Haley Steinfeld?
Oh,
she looks a lot
Oh.
like someone
Interesting.
that, yeah, and
That
she
he
has
would be
music
with?
coming out soon, so I feel like she would want to promote that up a little bit.
Earl, who's Pete's next conquest? Let's all play this.
I think he's going to go with who's the girl from
I don't know.
From
Chris?
the HBO show?
Zendaya?
Yes.
I'm gonna say Bieber's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Which one? Selena?
Selena Gomez.
That
She's
was
a little
my
old
guess.
for him, though, right?
I think he's gonna go. Well, you know, Kate Beckinsale was.
No,
older.
you're right.
I don't think age matters to Pete.
I'm going to go the opposite of Chris Stanley. Billie Eilish. Lock it up.
Very
Good
different.
for both of them.
Very different look than he goes.
Right.
Yeah, but they
Not
can-
head
But
back.
right age.
Because I don't think that Pete's going to want to be where the weekend been. But I remember years ago, the first time I met Pete, he was a giant Justin Bieber fan. Giant.
Really?
You got one, Gail?
No, I was gonna say the same as Chris. I
Hey,
don't
you
know,
still
like,
can.
yeah.
You guys can team up. You know, you can split it in.
Yeah.
That way you'll split the winnings.
What are the winnings?
Hey.
Hey, Let's Touch by Thomas Markle. There we go. You can sell it then. Yeah. But Selena just had a new album out too. People are liking, so maybe she'll be ready for a new little Pete. Yeah.
I have another one.
Apparently, that whole album is about Bieber, though.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Every song is her being like, "Can I be happy now?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Sure, if you want." Yeah.
Emma Watson. I think he goes after
That's
Hermione.
stupid.
Let's see if we can find a calendar to see what year it is.
I didn't think you needed to break in with that one.
No, that was a fucking waste of
Especially because
time.
Emma Watson, she does nothing now because she didn't do any Little Women. She's not doing it. Yeah.
No, nothing's happening for
But you know,
her.
she's so happy that it got pretty snubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, God fucking bless. Yeah.
Have you seen the movie or anyone seen it?
I haven't.
No one has.
I want to.
Not a single human being has.
It's going to be 5 years later. I'm like, shit, I wanted to see
I
that.
really want to see that.
Or it's one I'll scroll past on a plane. I'm like, I don't want to watch people like well on a flight. Yeah. It was rough. But the Florence Pugh girl people love.
Did you love her?
People love a poo poo platter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen one thing that she's in, but I hear her name pop up.
Yeah,
all
well,
the
because
time.
she's, the Zach Braff dating is making it.
She was in the horror movie.
Oh,
right?
Midsommar. Yeah. She's in Midsommar and Little Woman.
Right.
So yeah, so she was a double. People are, and it's so funny too. People are like, she did 2 great films this year. That's insane. And then everyone's like, that's like her job. So it's less like being impressed and more so good for you. But yeah, that's
Maybe
her.
Pete should check her out.
I mean-
she's doing well for herself.
Yeah.
I hope he starts looking into this.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone would be a little happier if she stopped dating Zach Braff because that one is not sitting well for anyone.
Yeah, it's not. And then, she's going to come to the defense of it all the time. It's exhausting.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like, all
hard.
right.
Yeah,
so
because it's
what?
the only question
He's
anyone has
old.
for her.
What's the story with him? Why do women like him so much?
Oh.
Search me.
I feel
the
like
tattoos. It's
Yeah?
really cool. I have no idea.
I mean, a lot of people have tattoos.
that's true. Yeah.
Chris doesn't.
Not one.
Oh. All right, that's where you guys can differ. You can be the anti.
You kind of are in so many ways.
And then another sad breakup is Leo DiCaprio and his 23-year-old girlfriend have somehow split.
That's shocking.
Telling me there's a chance.
I think there's a chance for
Gail-
every female on the planet
Yeah.
one time or another.
Gail
I mean,
just
if you're
called an
talking
Uber.
about a type, I certainly fit into that.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? So I'm definitely his caliber lady.
There he is.
Hey, could we just say predicted by Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes?
Oh,
Said that she had aged out during the course of the
Yes.
show.
because there's this insanely actually
look at that
true
face.
I know, beauty.
graph chart that's been going around the internet where it shows like him aging for the past 20 years and the age of his girlfriends, and they always have been around like 25. Like that's
Yeah.
when it caps
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Oh, I want to see. This is fascinating.
And you're gonna be shocked by some of the people that he's dating. I like forgot some, like Blake Lively. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, that's right. He was with Blake.
For a minute.
Yeah, they
He likes
say-
the models, though, above
Yeah.
all
He
else.
does. He likes a runway model, like a tall,
Yeah.
skinny runway model.
That's-
Not even
Yeah. The fashion show, Victoria's Secret fashion show ending is really hard for him the most because he's like,
Yes.
he doesn't know where he's going to find them.
And how
Where
old
do
is
I
he
meet
now?
women?
He's 44.
Yeah.
So he's a middle-aged man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has never dated someone over the age of 25
That's
since
insane.
99.
Look at Leo's age limit.
Yeah.
Like 3 times. It's capped out at 25. That's it.
at 25 is as old as it gets.
Yeah.
What does he? I mean,
He
like
hates
whatever.
people who can
I'm
rent
not
cars.
gonna
What does
judge-
he do?
Yeah.
He rails the fuck out of him.
But I mean, like, what do you think? Like after that, like, what do they can't, they don't have anything in
They
common.
order room service, and he gets the pussy posse to come by, and they smoke cigars, and he tells them how the sex was.
The old pussy posse.
Double P.
I gotta get together with the old guys.
And then do we know Sia? The singer, and she just adopted a baby recently and was talking about how she doesn't really have time for a relationship, but there's a lot of people that she'd like to sleep with. So she texted Diplo to see if you'd be interested in no strings sex.
That's hilarious.
And they have a music group together, this LSD or something like that group that they do together. So it's funny that they work together, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to just have sex?"
That's really
Good for
great.
them.
Right? Happy for
First
her.
of all, I like some strings. You know, anytime up.
She. I mean, I liked her before this, but now I feel like I like even
Right,
more.
she'll swing from a chandelier, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Diplo too. He's fun. They're good. I could see them enjoy each
To be
other a
honest
little bit.
with you, I always forget.
My big Diplo problem is he's going to lose those glasses. They're just hanging on by his nose.
Diplo, yeah, I know. Well, it's funny because he used to date MIA, and I think I liked him from then because she's very cool.
From MIA to SIA.
Ooh,
Oh,
good one. Sea to shining sea. So then, speaking of them, we're going into some more music news. Doing all these steps, like he was, he did a joint Instagram live with one of his fans who was crying, and he was like, "I don't hear you streaming my like going insane about it." And he lost to this song from this rapper no one knows, but it's big on TikTok. So
TikTok is the way to go.
it's the way to, yeah. And I mean, because it's like all these challenges are doing it. And that was Justin Bieber tried to start his own TikTok challenge with his song that did not take off.
This was the yummy challenge where people were sliding down the
Yeah.
wall. Yeah, I saw it.
It was cute, but
I tried to do it in the privacy of my own home,
What
but I
is
didn't
it
record
again?
it. Look up the yummy challenge. So it's a dance move from
the music video.
from the music video, in which a girl like slides down the wall while she's kind of gyrating, like rolling her belly. No, that's not it. But it's they're like sliding down the wall and doing it. So I did the challenge
to the music.
To the music. But I did not record it.
Oh, you could have been on.
I know.
You could have been a compilation.
I could have been on TikTok.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was a thing.
I mean, TikTok is very much a whole new world too. It's kind of terrifying, but it is where everything goes now.
A lot of these people are losing this challenge.
Yeah, they're not. Well, I mean, I guess that's why it didn't go number one.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what
See,
they're
I thought that was just about the sliding down the wall. But they're just like,
'cause I know what you're-
the challenge is just dancing to it. That stings.
I think the sliding down the wall is the good part.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
yummy wall dance.
There we go.
Do we know any
There's
comics
guys
who did
doing
this?
it. No. See,
Seems like
there's
the-
the dance move.
Seems like Bert Kreischer should have been all over
I know.
this. I don't know how he missed it.
This is great because there's a lot of dudes doing it.
Oh, I like
See how
that.
they
That's
do.
one cool girl in this group, though.
That's it.
That's
That's pretty much it.
So the dance craze doesn't last long anymore.
It doesn't.
No.
It didn't take off for him.
When
But
people
it's the same. Paris, whatever her name is, the choreographer who did
Oh,
it,
yeah.
is the same one who did Sorry, and like Sorry was hot fire, and everyone loved it.
That's the hard thing too, where I think because he was coming back, he accidentally released such a good album as his last album, where people were even like, "Oh, Justin Bieber can do good music," and then like it's like very hard to come back from that. I think, especially with a song like this,
Yeah.
because this is very like Tamagotchi kind of music. Which
Sorry
is, like,
was like a song that I was like, wait, this is a Justin Bieber song, and I was like, why am I still singing that? I
I'm
shouldn't like this.
and you're just like, "Ooh," like the second it starts, you're just
know.
so into it. So that's it for Dish today, guys.
You were fantastic.
Thank you
my
guys so
friend.
That
much.
was great. I can't wait to get more Royals up.
I mean, that's the main thing.
We might even have to do an expanded dish because Royals eat into everything now.
I know. We had to like skip Dish.
Yeah.
I know.
Because
They
we
take over.
needed an extra serving of Royals. That was this week's Dish, brought to you by Dish. Tuned in to you. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH or go to dish.com and Go see Kashmir and Casey Balsham host Not Another True Crime podcast live at Union Hall January 24th, 7:30 p.m. For tickets, check the link on his Instagram at Kashmir Danny. By the way, that's Kashmere Danny.
We'll be right back. Faction Talk 103, The Bennington Show.
Come on. Dish Network has just developed the new Dish voice remote. And now that it's got Google Assistant built in, your favorite game day recliner becomes a total home command center. Just say the word and the remote does the rest. It's awesome.
Want to know a backup quarterback stats? Ask the remote. Want to watch a different game? Just press the mic button on the remote and say, Game Finder. It can even turn down the thermostat if you get into a heated argument about whether or not the receiver's knee was down before he got to the goal line.
The point is, if you want a remote that makes watching the game better, Houston, this remote has no problem. The Dish voice remote with Google Assistant. Your TV and a whole lot more at your command. Dish, tuned into you.
Voice functionality requires internet-connected Hopper and compatible device. Google is a trademark of Google LLC. To learn more.
It's good to see you all.
Hurry's performing at Caroline's Comedy Club next Thursday through Saturday, January 23rd through the 25th. Go to carolines.com for tickets.
Ooh, to me, that's always one of the great New York names, right? Caroline's.
Oh, my
Been here
God, yeah.
forever, and everybody's played it.
Well, my parents know what it is, which makes it the most important.
That is important.
Growing up in New York, like when they tell their friends, who work with them or they're retired now, but at Flushing Hospital and LIJ Hospital, they're like, "Oh, Caroline's, he made it. That's the big one."
That was the big one, yes. And then that is funny, though, because there's a lot of great things that you could achieve in life that your family will go, I don't know what
No,
you mean."
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm guessing late night television is like one of those things where you're like, whether or not it's big for you,
Right.
It's certainly something that you could be like,
Letterman meant something.
Yes.
Conan is the one that is closest to my heart.
Right.
That means very little to them.
Right.
Letterman, Ed Sullivan Theater, that's a thing. They understand that.
Yeah. But now you're right, because they didn't grow up with those people. They're going to go, well.
My dad still mentions Carson. My mom and
Yes.
dad, like Carson was still in his prime when they came to the country. They watched him regularly, like late 70s through
Yes.
the 80s and stuff. So they still reference Carson, and it's like, well, that thing doesn't exist anymore. That kind of thing where you're famous once you do it.
You know what? And you were. When you did that show,
Oh, yeah.
you were set. You did it once. Welcome to show business.
Yeah.
What size suit are you wearing? But I almost brought up Carson today when I was talking with Adie Bryant, because she's got her own clothing line. And I was going to say, Carson was on every best dress list until he started to sell the Johnny Carson suits.
That's
And
hilarious.
everyone thought he looked like shit, but he was making money to wear his own suits. And I'm like, this is going to be lost on her. It will not make any sense. I could say Trump tie, I guess. It's the closest I could come with that.
You know what's funny? I thought a lot about Carson when Conan originally took over The Tonight Show.
Yes.
Because people were saying, oh, it's too weird. It's too weird. Like Jay Leno, it's like more standard fare. I'm like, Carson is more like Conan than Jay Leno was like Conan, because like Carson did really weird, bizarre bits.
Yeah.
On prime real estate as part of the Tonight Show. Like, it was never the most straightforward stuff in the world.
No, it was very, very, there was plenty of strange sketches that didn't work and stuff like that. But here's the weird thing. When Carson took over, they're like, he's no Jack Parr. He's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, no one is welcomed. No one is welcome. And all they had to do is wait it out with Conan.
Yes.
And I think he should have fought a little harder, when they were going to go, I'll move you to midnight, and Conan said no. I said, you should go to midnight and just drop rocks on Leno every night. Just drop cinder blocks down on top of him.
That's still my favorite show. Conan is still my favorite, and the stuff he's doing now, like going to other countries, finding stand-up comics in other countries, in Mexico and Finland, just it's incredible. They're still doing the most innovative stuff in the form.
I do like that about him. That it's like, well, let's just do something nobody else is doing.
But the fact is, the Tonight Show is good real estate. If you have that,
yeah,
it does give you. The Today Show is good real estate. The Tonight Show, good
Right.
real estate. And it's always funny to me. Why is 11:30 so much more valuable than 12:30? But it is.
Is it right after the news? Is that why the local news at 11 people still watch that?
Yeah, and even who watches the local news? I
Right.
couldn't dream of watching the rapes and fires that take place on the
So
local
depressing.
news. Yeah.
So depressing. Every time local news is on, I'm like, where? Well, hold on. Let's turn this off.
As soon as I
I'm
hear
just
a
getting
mother
sick.
in the Bronx, I'm like, no, no.
I've heard the phrase teens slain
Yes.
so many times.
Just the worst thing that can happen. Chris, do you remember what local news your parents would watch growing up in New York?
It was Ernie Anastas. Which
yeah.
I think is NBC.
Remember
He
when
was
he?
Fox, I
Remember
remember.
how to
Chuck
know-
Scarborough was NBC with Sue
right.
Simmons.
Now this is how big Ernie Anastas was, who, by the way, seems nothing like a New Yorker. You know what I mean? There's nothing about his personality feels like New York. And then at the end of his show, he said to someone one night, "Keep fucking that chicken," and did not lose his gig. That's how big.
But
he
I
is.
still don't understand, why did he say that?
I think the guy mentioned, I guess it was an old joke before anyone was born. Do you know where it came from, Chris?
I don't.
Now give us some volume on this.
On Fox 5 Sky Guardian, and then check that 7-day to make your weekend plans.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick.
And I guess that's me.
Keep fucking that chicken.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's not even a slip of the tongue.
No, he just said it.
Was
he
it a
just
dare?
Said it.
Maybe it was
Now,
a dare.
when he said it takes a tough man to make a tender for,
Yeah.
that had to do off an old chicken commercial.
Yeah.
But at no point would anyone say, "Keep fucking that chicken."
Why did he say it?
No one knows. And the way nobody kind of dealt with it, just
no,
like
everyone was just like, and moving on.
He couldn't have said that. That's Ernie
Yes.
Anastas. I did a Good Day New York
Yes.
once years ago with Rosanna Scotto and Greg Kelly.
Yeah.
And it was as bad as you would think it would be. And it's so interesting reading about them after. So Greg Kelly is the former police commissioner,
Yes, Ray Kelly.
Kelly's son, and Rosanna Scotto is the daughter of a mobster.
right
So-
and restaurateur.
Right. I just love it. Like police and thieves.
Yes.
Literally, like it's such a New York thing.
Right.
Good Day New York with a former like mobster's daughter and the former commissioner of
Yes.
New York Police Department's son.
But
Amazing.
that's the beauty of it. And then, because New York is the kind of city where sometimes the police commissioner will end up in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
we
right,
we
right.
have those kind of things that happen here. But, Greg Kelly, I mean, that's a great gig that he had. Yeah. One day he goes like this, I'm done. And he left, and I've never heard about him since.
Really?
He didn't go anywhere else.
Nope.
She's got another woman doing the show. I missed that uncomfortability that she had with Greg Kelly, because he would just throw in a conservative view out of nowhere. You know what I mean? He'd be like, "Well, you know how they are." You know what I mean?
I love how Rosanna Scotto has to be the liberal one in that
Right,
situation.
yeah.
It's like,
I was just I just watched Good Time because we just had the Safdie
Oh,
brothers
yeah.
on for Uncut Gems. But I watched Good Time, and Louis Dodd is in throughout
Yes.
the movie from New York One.
Yes.
And I actually, because I've always liked New York One, but Louis Dodd, I was like laughing through the whole thing. How weird! I was like, wow, they have Louis Dodd. Like it felt great to me.
oh, they do weird stuff like that in Uncut Gems. I got Mike Francesa.
Yeah,
on
he's
there.
a bookie
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
I'm like, that's such a New York kind of thing
Right.
to put
Yeah.
him in it.
But
Those two kids are brilliant, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, they came in and did our show, and within seconds, I'm like, oh, we're going to be watching these guys' movies for the
Yeah.
rest of our lives,
so.
I
really do.
And because they took that weird little scene, this weird Jewish scene that exists nowhere else,
Yeah,
and
nothing
made
is
people identify with it, Brilliant.
It's so funny because now I like, just because the Diamond District is just around the corner from here. But now every day when I leave, I'm just like looking down the street, like so weird. I feel like I
Yes,
just had like
yeah.
a peer into this whole world.
It felt like it was the character Adam Sandler was born to play.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because so many of his voices kind of take on, like, you could tell this must have been an exaggeration of a character in his life or someone he's known. And this was like, wow, like, he really turned, like, it was very, like, realistic. Like, you created a character that is absurd and you fit it perfectly.
I think we're going to find out one day that it was his uncle. You know what I mean? A lot of times, like Joe Pesci, they said was actually doing a guy, you know, like a mob guy, and was just like, oh, I've got the mannerisms down. So, I mean, that's why I think that he stuck with it. But everyone was like, well, why didn't he get nominated for an Oscar or whatever? He's doing Jack and Jill 2 next. You know what I mean? You can't turn around and give him an award and have him say, I don't care about the
normally am
business.
not so big on the, like, oh, this person was snubbed, but it was just something that I was like, well, okay, they're not going to be hip enough to understand the film as a whole, but clearly they're going to see this performance.
Yeah. Right.
And they're going to know. I mean, to me, watching the accent he does, the mannerisms. Right, my friend is Israeli, and her brothers, one of them works in diamonds, and it's an impression of her older brother. I didn't want to say it to her. I had to wait for her to see it. I was like, hey, did you see the movie yet? And she's like, it's my brother. And I was like, it's so weird. It's so...
I feel like every actor probably has, if they got the right role, the performance that, like, they probably have an Oscar-worthy performance in them because I know that character so well. I can play that character in my sleep, and I feel like this is one of those where it matched up perfectly, and like he was good.
He was really, really good. And yeah, you're right. I mean, you know that De Niro had somebody early on. You know what I mean? Like, he understood that Italian guy and how you act in New York. I mean, he wasn't going around playing a million different kind of characters, but he was playing a guy that was so compelling that we're like, yeah, give us another one after this.
Eddie Murphy was great in Dolomite also. I really liked his performance.
You know, the thing is, Eddie Murphy is so great, and it's that anti-comedy thing that they have, because you could have taken him in Trading Places. He was so amazing. 48 Hours, I'll put up against anybody.
Coming to America.
That whole 80s thing that he had was so amazing.
He owned it, yeah.
And then the other night when he did, when he was back at SNL, the last sketch is the one that they didn't bring from the back, where he was the elf and it was like, holy shit, man, he could just pull that out.
I wish that, like, that's exactly how I felt. I felt the last sketch of the show was him at his best, because he wasn't trying to recreate something he can't recreate.
Yes.
And all the sketches they did when they brought back Velvet Jones, when they brought back Buckwheat, first of all, they're references that the younger audience isn't going to get.
They're never going to get, yeah.
And they just jammed them, like they did the same thing twice. They took a game show format and shoved a sketch that didn't belong there in a format that works on its own. Like, why not just have Eddie Murphy play a character for Black Jeopardy? Why not have Eddie Murphy play a different singer for The Masked Singer? Like, instead, you just kind of handcuffed him to these old characters.
Did they feel like we have to have Buckwheat here? You know what I mean? Like, we have to.
I thought it was weird only because, like, if they would have done that for one character, maybe you would have appreciated. You're like, can you believe he brought Buckwheat back or something? And then everyone would have talked about that as like a one-time scene, as opposed to every
character.
Right.
Yeah. It was
Even
like
in the
that.
beginning of the night when the comedy stars came out to be with him, I was like, should have put that in the middle of the show to get that second thing, because I just want to see Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
you know,
I want to see Eddie Murphy do stand-up. I thought I was going to see Eddie Murphy do stand-up in that monologue.
I know, that's what I wanted too.
Yeah.
And again, people will never. There's no way you could tell a kid today how big that was in the 80s.
Oh, my parents loved him so much. Not from his stand-up, it was from SNL and from all the movies.
Right.
They loved him. He was I mean, that's the amazing thing. He had such crossover appeal, too, because in the stand-up world, obviously, he was huge.
Yes.
But, like, some people, like, my folks didn't even know he did stand-up. They only knew him from, like, SNL and film and being a huge star. Like, that's how great he was.
Yeah, he could do everything until he got to music. And I was like, oh, no, stop it. Were your folks big into Eddie?
Yeah, my dad loved Eddie Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody who didn't love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, well, he's so charismatic. Like, him as an actor, he's just very charismatic.
And the funny thing, do you ever remember that bit where he's making fun of Cosby for calling him?
Yeah.
like the nation immediately walked on Murphy's side against Cosby. And Cosby's was back then the most beloved guy.
Right.
But everybody's like, shut up, Bill. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing.
He was 19 when he was on SNL.
19
19.
and crushing it.
Yeah.
19 and owning it.
Yeah.
How do you can you imagine now that circumstance of not just having a cast member that young, but then becoming the star of that show?
Right.
Not only the star, the only acceptable person to people.
Saved the show.
They hated every other person on
Who
the
else
show.
was he on with?
Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo.
Mary Gross.
Yeah.
Tim
They're-
Kazurinsky.
Yeah. I mean, they were really hard on that. See, back then they would switch the whole cast in 1 year.
Right.
Right now, you never know. People stay for
Right,
10
there's
years.
there's crossover.
Yeah, people are just, kind of warm up for 3 or 4 years. Then you just turn around and there was a whole new cast. And the funny thing is that they would be, fronting in their pictures like, yeah, you're like, you haven't earned that yet. It was a really disastrous place to go.
And
for
this
young
was after
performers.
Lorne Michaels. There was
Yeah.
a stretch when Lauren was removed from the show, and I forget
Yeah.
who they gave it to. Gene something or another.
They gave it to Dick Ebersol.
Yeah,
Was it
but
Dick Ebersol?
Dick Ebersol was above that, but Gene it was the one that did the Woody Allen movies.
Yeah, Gene.
Dorian.
Yeah, yes, it was something like that.
Yeah.
And I think she only stayed 11 or 12 episodes. I mean, people just lined up to act like. I mean, they acted like the worse than they did for the Australian fires. You know what I mean? Like people were more outraged than they were for the Australian fires.
Hurry's performing at Caroline's Comedy Club next Thursday through Saturday, January 23rd through the 25th. Go to carolines.com for tickets.
Man.
Isn't it funny? And I was saying this today to 80. I was like, one of the things I always feel like is I could do a better job than Lauren. You know what I mean? Like it's one of the. It's like, could you be general manager of the Knicks? Yes, I could. I could
that's
go
one
in
of
there.
those, yeah.
I got a good eye for talent. You know what I mean? I understand what I'm doing, and I always feel the same way about Saturday Night Live. I feel like I would just be the cool guy, picking the right people, letting them
Very
run
cool
with it.
position.
Yes, it seems like it, and yet only exists at one place.
Think of all the sketch shows that didn't make it. They were all people who were like, yeah, I could do Lauren.
Yeah, I could do Lawrence Top. And then the other thing about Lauren, right away since he was a kid, he was like, I'm also best friends with, Paul McCartney and Paul Simon.
Yeah.
And, we're having a party at my house. It's all white. You know what I mean? Everything you wear is white. Like all that shit just
Yeah.
looked perfect from Jump Street. And now he's been doing it it's coming up on 45 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to see it live, which I wasn't at the live performance. I was at the rehearsal. What's his name from Rolling Stone magazine? Was
Jan
there.
Winter.
Jan Winter was there, and I was sitting next to Jan Winter and his son, and I was like, "Oh, because they're friends." And then Lauren
Yes.
came out with talking to Jan Winter, and I can't remember somebody else was back with him in the booth
Yes.
too. It was just I couldn't believe how star-studded it was on the floor.
Yeah.
Not people who were in the show. It was
Yes,
crazy.
that's the old New York royalty that's almost gone, and that's what would happen to new people on the show. They would go to Lawrence for dinner, and Paul McCartney would be saying, Paul, no, you know what I mean? No, Lauren, I don't know. I mean, I know his work.
Familiar with him, yeah.
We were talking about this earlier today. Is who would be a star that you would be afraid to lose your shit over? Because a lot of times it's people that you love when you were a kid, and then you never really grow comfortable with that.
But what do you mean lose your shit over?
You would just be like, oh my God, who just walked
Too
in?
starstruck to even speak.
Feel like you would almost even make an ass out of yourself.
I feel like Eddie Murphy's probably one of those people
Yeah.
for me. Yeah, because I was we were all obsessed with him.
Yeah. That's what's always funny. At the cellar, somebody could come in and be change the whole dynamic. I mean, there's a lot of great people who come in, but when you change the dynamic and, you're like, no, let him do the rest of the show.
Like when Chappelle
yeah,
comes
Chappelle
in.
comes in, nobody says, well, but I got to do this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause could he go on after me? Nobody says that. But when you think about it, how did even Chappelle get to that level where that became okay? Seinfeld goes into Gotham, and that's the end of the show.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Right.
And I don't care whose book there, they'll just say, "Oh, dude, thanks. Go pick up your check." Seinfeld's here.
right. And that's better. I mean, because otherwise you're going to be on the show before Seinfeld, no one's going to remember, or you're on
Right.
after, and not only will people not remember, it'll hurt.
Yes, and there should be some respect in the business anyway, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be like, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? This is my time.
You know what the funniest thing is when you meet the comic who thinks they're that guy,
Right.
but they're not that guy. So
Yes.
it's just the ego of like, you really think we're all going to be okay with you, bum? Like we've done the same shows you have.
I've worked with you in Brooklyn in front of 8 people.
Right.
Just because you got a sitcom,
Right.
it doesn't work that way. But you're right. There are plenty of people that are very famous to the audience
Yeah.
that comedians aren't necessarily going to care about.
Yeah.
Chris, who's a person for you that you couldn't handle?
I think Jim Carrey came in here. I'd be fucking.
That's a really good name because he's still very mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I, watching all of his movies when I was a fucking, kid, I was,
Yes.
I was obsessed with them, watching
Yeah.
them over and over again. So if he walked in here, I was like, that's not a real person.
Funniest kid in middle school was whoever could do the best Ace Ventura
It's
impression.
very, very true. 1994, 3 giant movies. Not one of them should have worked. You know what I mean? When you look at those movies, say, give me another performer who could go in and have 3 hits with those scripts.
Was it Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and Mask?
Yeah.
I think about it, it's like, will I ever laugh as hard as I did as a kid watching that for the first time with my brother? No. Like, I'll never...
Which one?
All of them, but Ace Ventura is the one.
Yeah,
I think
Ace
of.
Ventura
It was so shocking.
is a ridiculous premise, stupid premise. No, there's no real punchlines if he's not
No.
doing it that way. That's the thing that's hard to believe.
I remember the excitement and sick feeling that it was possibly like Ace Ventura 2 might not be good. And we were so
Yeah.
nervous about it. And me and my brother walked out like, he's done it again. He's done it again.
Remember how many, every time for the next 3 years, you and your brother, if it was hot, you'd be like, getting a little hot in these rhinos. And we would have the family laugh. Yeah. Remember that movie we watched? But, here's the other thing of like when you're a dad and there's movies that you could laugh at with your kids, it's like the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't, you're like, these kids are pretty cool. They're really getting Sandler. That's why when anyone says they think about Sandler, those early Happy Gilmore, all
always
that,
love
I
him.
will
They're great.
love him forever
Yeah.
for those things. And again, going back, you don't even know how it is that you could carry that. I mean, like, here's the premise. You're going to have to do every grade in 2 weeks. You're like, no one's going to.
Insane
no
idea.
one's going to believe this. It's stupid.
But that movie is comedy genius.
It's
like
genius.
There's
Yeah.
not even one scene where you go, well, this is a little sleepy. I can't wait for the next. Like, every scene is funny.
Yes, you're
Every
right.
scene is funny.
And Happy Gilmore, essentially Billy Madison with golf.
Right,
And-
with golf,
Yeah.
fighting an old man.
Right.
So ridiculous, so funny.
Like a guy that's way too immature for his
Right.
age, doing things that he probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And somehow a very pretty lady falls in love with him for no clear reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't give them any reason.
Yes.
That's
He's actually
true. Every
somewhat mean to
circumstance.
them,
Saves
screams
them.
at them, does things.
Yeah.
And then the beauty of his is that each movie he did, the girls became more beautiful and bigger stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they became gigantic stars in
Yeah.
love with him.
Was it with Salma Hayek in one movie? I think it was like Click.
Oh.
And isn't it also
Spanglish.
the family one, the one that he puts all of his buddies together in? The-
Oh, yeah,
yeah, isn't she the wife then?
yeah,
And-
she is. Yeah.
Yeah, when they all get together.
Every time you see that movie, I forget the name of it too, with Chris Rock and David Spade.
Yeah, it's the one we're trying to think of.
Yeah.
Grown-ups.
Grown-ups.
Thanks.
Do you ever, like, whenever I see that poster for Grown-ups, I always think that was supposed to be Chris Farley and not Kevin James.
100%.
It's hard not. That must be a weird
Yeah.
position to be in, to be the guy that's not the guy everyone thinks it's supposed to be.
But at least you're the same size as that
Right,
guy.
right.
Like, they didn't even go, hey, you know who else from the show that we, came up with that would fit this.
Right.
'Cause I don't remember Kevin James ever being with those guys.
No.
back
No.
then.
No.
But look at the size of him. Fat guy in a little.
Would it have been better or worse if they got Kevin Farley instead?
Worse.
Worse, right?
It would have been worse for the whole Farley family.
Right.
But, Chris Farley was, first of all, they all loved him.
Yeah.
And then the audience loved him. Lorne, actually, he was really misbehaving, and Lorne was trying his best to keep with him. He was, the Pete Davidson of his time. So, Lorne was like, hey, I've learned this before. I'm going to really try to save this person.
Yeah.
That's why, Lorne will not give up on Pete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can't have another Belushi.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing he's had that happen a few times. Belushi and Farley having that same trajectory. Is
Right.
just- yeah.
And there was nothing, and Farley loved Belushi. You know what I mean? Like, and you couldn't say, hey, you saw how this turned out, because at that time it was almost like rock and roll. Like, yeah, of course, the great ones die young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Chris wasn't thinking the way a surviving person thinks.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'll go out a legend. And then
He did.
he left. Yeah, he did, but he left this giant hole. And also, look at Spade. How many more movies would Spade have done with him if they could have kept it together?
As a duo, how many? I can't think of that many duos now that have that same power. It's very old fashioned.
It is. Yeah. It's very Hope and Crosby. It fits perfectly into the little guy yelling at the big guy.
Yeah.
Which is, and then finally the big guy does something.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're like, I can't take it anymore. And everybody likes it so much.
But with David Spade's snark, which is also kind of
right. He was hilariously mean to him.
In the documentary they made about Chris Farley, when Spade talks about him and says there isn't a day I don't think about him, not a single day. It's oh my God.
You believe
painful.
it?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, because we all either have a family member or a friend that you're like, wish I could just say this one thing.
Yeah.
Move on. That they had that. And the beauty of it is that they didn't have it immediately. You know what I mean? Like, they were in two different places on that TV show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Farley, the doors opened up, run with it,
Yeah.
And Spade just, battled it out. Even Sandler battled it out a little bit on that show. But Farley was from Jump Street, America loved.
Yeah. Can put him in anything, any sketch. Did not matter. Even Nat X, Chris, they threw him in there.
Right.
I'm it didn't seem to fit, but he was hilarious in his absurd. He was still basically Farley, but trying to play the whole Afrocentric thing, but as Farley.
Yes.
Which the fact you could pull that off, only he could pull that off.
And by the way, the person who had the roughest time on that show was Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Chris Rock was on that show for years and barely got
That's
used.
weird to think, right?
Yeah.
He talks about it in a Mark Maron interview. It's just, he said it was hard because there were a bunch of white writers who were trying to write for him, and they knew the best of black culture, but they didn't really know anything that was intricate. A sketch like Black Jeopardy would never have happened back then.
Right.
And now you can make that, or What's Up with That, and it's people talk about it. It's funny, and you can have celebrities on it, and there's references that work, and they couldn't do that for him back then.
Right. It is always true that the show, it has to connect on a couple levels, but it has to be somewhat hip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have that, even the people that aren't cool get that it's not cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
The part of the audience, because that's what they had very early on, is it seemed like that show was the 70s in New York. It was a little dangerous. It was a little tough. It was a little gritty. And like we said, Eddie was the only one who had that in the 80s. You know what I mean? They had to reboot that whole thing, and they had to go, oh, it really isn't about downtown. It's about MTV. How do we make that work? It's just why they were so lucky that they had Lonely Island at the right time of, here's how you go viral.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what's important now.
That was a really smart move to
they
bring them
put
on.
some blood back into the show. Not them particularly, but that concept.
Well, yeah, it's exact. And the middle-aged writer or the middle-aged producer is the last person to get that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
You don't always understand that. Why should you?
Right.
You know what I mean? And why should you? It's just like, how are you supposed to know what is the good restaurant, was the bad one? You got to go out all the time.
I mean,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
you go.
Well, the best thing that happened, I think, a few years ago when they had the whole thing about the lack of diversity, a lack of, which was incredibly true considering they didn't have a black guy to play Obama. During they had to bring back Fred Armisen, who's not even black, to play Obama. I mean, clearly they had an issue, but it's led to all these really interesting hires. Like Leslie Jones was not going to be on that show unless there was that kind of we got to do something. And they hired her as a writer, and then they realized how incredible she was. Or Bowen Yang, I think is fantastic on this new season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it took that to open
I think
people's
it's interesting
minds
because
up.
he's just doing something that nobody else could have done.
Yes.
Right, it
You
didn't
know what I mean?
exist.
So now instead of and we'll just put him into the cast of characters and work him in.
Yeah.
He has his own section that he's gonna kill it at, and then
Yeah.
they're gonna,
Well, they also, I mean, he's part of the easing it in thing. They know they don't have to kill it with him in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can take a couple of years to understand how the machine works, until you can master it. Just like you don't take someone and go, okay, you're going to learn to be a pilot, get in there and take off on this thing.
I'm forgetting her name, but there's a new girl who just started this season. She's one of the featured girls.
The blonde girl?
Yeah.
Not Heidi Gardner, right? 'Cause she's been on a couple of years.
No, not her. So anyway, I think that she actually came from a YouTube kind of
Right.
background, or not YouTube, but she would post Instagram videos of impressions, and I was I don't know about all that. And then I saw her Instagram and was like,
This is Stephanie
wow.
Nelson.
This girl right here. What's her name?
Chloe Feynman.
So I'm
yeah,
really,
yeah.
we've seen her show up. She did the Marianne Williamson impression, which was insane,
right.
and we got to see it once. But I'm very interested how they're going to use her. Are they going to? Because you never know if it's going
Right.
to work for someone or not. But her impressions are always really crazy.
Let me see her, Marianne Williamson.
That's
'cause I don't think
fantastic.
I saw
They
it.
have it on. You know what? Try to check her Instagram because she was doing it before she actually.
That's great.
So that's where she came from, that kind of background?
I think so. And when you were talking to 80 about it.
Uh-huh. And
about
then he brought up,
well, just that there's people who are coming from, different backgrounds, maybe they're YouTube stars or something like that. Okay, this is her Marianne Williamson.
The most important part about my campaign is that I don't believe in money. And here's why. Money is a part of a collective hate consciousness that is ruining this government and ruining this country as a whole because it funds big pharmaceutical companies, and I don't believe in that, girlfriend. I don't even need to put my attention on it. I don't believe in the physical universe, I believe in the spiritual. Which is why I don't need $1 million. I don't need $2 million. Heck, girlfriend, I don't even need $3 billion. What I need is for you to set an intention. That's right, an intention. I want you to go out there and buy a Himalayan salt lamp. You're going to take that lamp and you're going to plug it in a wall. And then you're going to draw a tarot card. And depending on what that tarot card says, you're going to manifest it. Because I don't need money. I don't need anything in this physical goddamn universe. What I need is thoughts. And most importantly, love.
That's amazing.
It's so
That's
good.
so good.
It's such a nailed impression.
And there's
It's
just
such-
enough Judy Garland in there
Right.
too.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, you don't even have to know who she is to not find that hysterical.
Yeah.
And then, I've seen, she's been on a handful of times since
Yeah.
she's kind of joined the cast. So I'll be interested if they find a place for her.
Because
they
the raw
find that
tools
thing.
are there.
Yeah. But that's interesting about that, the cast.
I feel like Melissa Villaseñor is underappreciated.
I agree 100%.
Her impressions are
Her
incredible.
impressions are sick.
Yeah.
I would kill to be able to do one of those.
Yeah.
And she nails them one after another.
So versatile too.
Yeah.
So many different types of parts. I feel like Rachel Dratch all time probably is the most underrated.
Yes. But
she's
yet,
incredibly funny.
unlike a lot of people, she keeps working.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
true.
time.
Yeah.
She always keeps working. I always think, if you look at a kid like this, you just want to tell her, just hold on, wait, don't panic over it, don't fight with anyone. You're going to get your shot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
It's like if you come up in baseball, you're going to get some at bats, and that's when you prove yourself. Not Not when you're in the dugout complaining about it.
Right.
Because that was amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
so
That was
good.
just amazing, and I'd never seen that.
On her own on a phone.
Right.
It's incredible. And that's the other thing. I mean, she built, like, look at that, 300,000 views. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that was recent, but like she built enough before that to prove that she can do it.
Right.
So, I mean, she'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Chris, what's the one impression that you do?
Oh, that would be it's from the movie Seven.
Yeah.
It's from the movie California. John Doe's got the upper hand.
Oh.
What's wrong with that?
It's
Morgan
not-
Freeman.
doesn't sound like,
Hurry, it's Morgan Freeman from
Right,
Seven.
but it
Oh,
doesn't- yeah.
I honestly, I never thought I would confuse Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Let me do it for you again.
Yeah.
California.
Closing my eyes.
No.
John Doe's got the upper hand.
What? Is
Not only
Morgan
does-
Freeman
yeah.
the next guest?
Yeah. Not only does it not sound like Morgan Freeman, it doesn't even sound like a human being.
I think it sounds exactly like him.
It just sounds like Terrence and Phillip.
Can
That's what it
you
sounds
do
like.
it one last time?
Sure. California. John Doe's got the upper hand.
Hold on, I got to take a call. Lauren Michaels? What do you mean you were listening?
British at the end
Yeah,
of that?
He sounds
Yeah.
kind of British.
I think it sounds like Marianne Williamson.
So we predicting breakout for her?
I hope so. Yeah,
Good.
I hope it works for her. And I think obviously you're already seeing Bowen Yang. It's gonna happen for him.
Do you
too.
think it's going
Yeah,
to
I think
take
so.
off big?
Because I think he's doing something no one else is doing.
Yep,
Yeah.
and like every time now, just because he's new, he'll have one sketch or one little 30-second
Yeah.
joke, but everyone's talking about it
Right,
the next
right.
day. So I feel like that's a good sign.
It's also like, he's a Asian like actor on that show, and he's not being stuck with just playing the Asian guys. He like has these incredibly weird characters that are him.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like, this person's going to break out because they fit beyond the scope of the show. They could be famous
Right.
with that kind of talent.
But he
level.
also works with that other really strange writer from the show, the kid that's so damn funny.
Oh God, I
Julio
love him.
Torres.
What's his name?
Julio Torres.
Yeah.
Oh, Julio Torres is so funny.
Dude, I saw him at Moon Tower once, and he was just doing 6 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know who this kid is, but this is insane.
You told
But-
me because you were there and said to me, "I think you're gonna like this. It's
Yeah.
so weird," and I've been obsessed with him ever since. I loved his special. I
But-
thought it was psychotic.
The funny thing is, by the time the plane had landed, and I told you about it, SNL had picked him up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they were
yeah.
giving him specials and shit. Because you just look and you're like, that's so uniquely,
Yeah.
weirdly funny in ways that no one else was going to
Yeah.
write that joke.
And if somebody else wrote that joke, they wouldn't have been able to pull it off.
Right.
Like his delivery is like, you never expect where the punchline's going to be.
Or
You
when
don't
he
know what's going
just
to
goes
go.
deep with Disney characters.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, I didn't even see Hunchback, but I'm laughing.
Right.
I don't know why.
He brings an odd kink to whatever he's talking about, like
Yeah.
this obsessive, weird kink
Yeah.
to whatever. Little glass.
Right. What was the sketch that he did for SNL recently where he had some
The Instagram account. It was
Yeah.
for like Entenmann's or something.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that he was running someone's social
Yes,
media.
the
Did you
Instagram
see
page.
that
I didn't
one?
see that one.
Dude, let's grab it. Do we have time? I don't know how much time we have here, but it was like he was running the social media thing for some product.
Yeah, it was like Sarah Lee, I think.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, that's
Sarah
so
Lee.
funny.
Yeah, it's Sarah Lee.
So he obviously wrote this sketch. But Harry Styles
Right.
is like the kid, right?
I was just telling Santino.
Jake.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They wrote it
I
together.
was telling him about your work managing the company Instagram here at Sara Lee.
Yeah, and I love representing the brand. People love bread content.
Yeah, that's actually why we brought you in today, since we flagged some activity on the account that's been a little off message.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, for example, why did Sara Lee comment on this picture of Nick Jonas saying, "Wreck me, daddy," comment again a month later with "Destroy me, king"?
I see what happened. I've been mixing up the Sarah Lee Instagram account with my personal Instagram account.
Yeah, we figured. And Sarah Lee has also been obsessed with this random guy with only 200 followers.
Yeah, for him, Sarah Lee commented with a few
Julia.
eggplants, water drops, a train, and a ghost emoji.
And that's a reference to...
Getting railed to death. Yes.
The best part is this guy didn't even like Sarah Lee's comment, and that's really bad for the brain.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Well, I think you did, because 3 hours later, Sarah Lee commented...
Really bad for the brand.
Yeah, Nick Jonas won't like Sarah Lee's comment? Fine. But some random fashion twink?
Yeah. Sarah Lee's feelings were hurt by that. It's okay, though.
Well, the other component to this is you've been captioning the company's images with your own voice, too.
Here's this one.
So you should have written something like, Sarah Lee fact, our Texas toast is part of a delicious grilled cheese.
But what Sarah Lee actually captioned was feeling really depressed after 40 hours. What was supposed to be a fantasy ended up more rejection, must get rid of toxic in community.
That is so. Oh my God.
I know. You have to know the specifics of that whole thing
Yeah,
to be able to pull that off.
It's so funny.
There's so like what I love is like there's enough inside jokes in there mixed with stuff anyone's gonna get.
Right.
Like the premise alone is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's so
and it is really, really true that there are a lot of young people who they're like, "You're young, take over the social media." You know what I mean? They wouldn't let any of these guys design a billboard,
Right?
You know?
Right.
And this is the voice of your company.
Yeah,
Because no one else knows how to like use it. So
Right.
the most easy thing. So this stuff happens.
but that's so funny, right? And that's like the young bloods. That was their big thing this year, which is why you always know that this show is going to be okay. 45 years in,
Yeah.
you know, it works out. It's Chris, we got to rock.
Yeah, the computer's about to knock us off the air.
Always great to have you in.
Great
man.
to be here. Good to see you both again.
Hurry Condabolo, he's performing at Caroline's Comedy Club next week, January 23rd through the 25th. And he's performing at Motorco Music Hall in Durham, North Carolina, February 19th. Go to hurrycondabolo.com for tickets and all of his dates.
All right, that's it for us. We'll see you guys in it tomorrow. Thanks a lot again, buddy.
Thanks so much. That was so fun.